You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
And welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Downey Unstoppables. This is Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week, and this is a long-standing rivalry. Stanford and Notre Dame, they first played in the Rose Bowl back in 1925. They meet here in 2025 at Stanford Stadium. A very big game for the number 9 Fighting Irish. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler. Great to have you with us. This is almost, not quite, but almost the very last game of the college football regular season. And it comes down to a very important game, Brock. Notre Dame obviously has to win. Right now they're in a playoff position, but they might have to win and win with some style.
I totally agree. And why? It's because it's their last game. Notre Dame doesn't get the ability to play in a conference title. So this is their last chance to prove to the College Football Playoff Committee why they deserve to be one of the 7 at-large teams. And I think the committee made a clear statement today that style points matter and how you win matters. However, on the road here today at Stanford, it's not going to be easy. This is a Stanford team that is 4-1 at home this year and coming off their biggest win in 5 years, beating their rival Cal last week.
Yeah, and you figure if Notre Dame's going to play at their peak and really make a statement here tonight, Jeremiah Love's going to be a big part of it. The Notre Dame running back, he may well be the best overall player in the country.
I completely agree. He is certainly worth the price of admission. I want you to see against Pittsburgh his athleticism on full display. This is the 6th play of the game. Takes it to the house. Anytime he touches the football, he has the ability to take it the distance, not just from his running back position. He can be a downfield threat as a wide receiver as well. This is earlier in the season against Arkansas. This isn't a dink and dunk or a screenplay. This is a 40-yard pass down the field. Just one of the reasons that makes him so special. You see the yards per game, 118, 20 total touchdowns, which is second best in college football. And Mel Kiper has him as the number 3 overall prospect, not running back, prospect in the upcoming draft. This kid is special. He's one of the Heisman favorites, and you are in for an absolute show tonight.
Every time he touches the ball, he can take it the distance. Jeremiah Love. The only thing we forgot to ask him this week, does he like coffee? This is a late-night game for Notre Dame, one of the latest they have ever played in their history. The Fighting Irish of the Stanford Cardinal kickoff coming up next. You're watching the ACC on ESPN here in Palo Alto. Chilly night at Stanford Stadium for Notre Dame and Stanford. Before we kick, let's welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast team down on the field, Stormy Bonatoni.
Well, Dave, naturally, there's been a lot of excitement here on the farm with the official announcement. Tavita Pritchard will be the next head coach of Stanford football, but it's also a bittersweet goodbye for interim coach Frank Reich, who's coaching in his final game tonight. Talking to a handful of players this week, they all said how grateful they were for Reich, how much he cares, what it meant to have him steady the ship during the dismissal of Troy Taylor back in March. And talking to him about that time, he said when GM Andrew Luck first called him, Reich told us he was retired and at Costco at the time, told Luck he was crazy. But coming out of that conversation, it wouldn't have sat right with him if this was a wasted year for these players, these seniors, and it has been a pivotal bridge for him for this program.
Wow, the opening kickoff, Stormy, ricochets off a Notre Dame player and was free on the turf. And the Fighting Irish find the football. Stanford won the toss and deferred. So the Notre Dame offense will come on the field to start this game with their freshman quarterback, C.J. Carr, who's really had an excellent freshman year. He comes from a storied football family. Didn't go to Michigan, came to Notre Dame, was one of the top quarterback prospects in his class from the state of Michigan, and getting a chance to play this year. Total QBR leads all freshmen in the country. And he's made a lot of big plays for this Notre Dame team, has put him in position to be the number 9 ranked team in their regular season finale. And he's going to throw the ball on the first snap of the game, and he hits Malachi Fields out on the right flat for a 10-yard gain and a Notre Dame first down.
I have been so impressed with C.J. Carr in his first season as a full-time starter. The young man, he just never seems to be rattled. He has great command and control at the line of scrimmage. I'm very impressed with the decision-making that he makes, pushing the football down the field. Don't kid yourself. This freshman is not dinking and dunking. He is pushing the ball down the field with the best of them.
He will hand the ball off to his Heisman Trophy candidate tailback, Jeremiah Love, who gets a couple yards and then gets driven backwards. His Stanford defense coming off a really nice performance against Cal. Huge challenge to try to contain number 4 Jeremiah Love, and maybe that guy Matt Rose will be in the middle of everything for the Cardinals.
Well, it's going to be their biggest challenge of the year, and you said it, Flem, between Jeremiah Love, Malika Fields, who we've already seen get the football, Jordan Faison. There's just so many weapons for this Notre Dame offense. Stanford's going to have to play one of their best games of the year if they're going to hang with the Fighting Irish tonight. Big underdog Stanford is in this game. Love gets another carry, bounces off one would-be tackler, and then gets swarmed and driven backwards. Maybe got to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Clay Patterson, among others. So now 3rd down for Notre Dame. Well, if you're Stanford, this is the start that you wanted. You want to have success on 1st and 2nd down, slow the running game for the Fighting Irish, and force them into a 3rd and obvious passing situation. That's exactly what you have here with 3rd and 8.
Notre Dame's coming off a game, Brock, against Syracuse where they scored 70 points. Most they've scored in decades, and it felt like they scored every time they snapped the ball in that game. 3rd down and 8 here for the Irish near midfield. Carr is going to take the snap and hand it off to Love. Right side run, nice cut, and Love gets stopped, I believe, right at the line to gain. They're going to say 1st down.
And a lot of that credit, I know Jeremiah Love carried the football, offensive line did a great job, but you need to give C.J. Carr some serious credit there. He is conducting this offense at the line of scrimmage. You can see the shift, the motion. He's getting his guys in place. He's changing the call at the line of scrimmage, taking advantage of what Stanford is presenting.
It could be that we are going to have a review.
The ruling on the field of the runner reaching the line of game is under further review.
Okay, so they're going to check and see if the spot was the correct one. So obviously it's an important call in that it's 4th down if Notre Dame is spotted back and didn't get the 1st down. Our first quick look, and hard to tell whether the knee was down right away. We do have Matt Austin with us here late night. Matt, part of our broadcast crew here tonight, our rules expert, and we'll let Matt say hello to everybody and chime in. What do you see on a first look, Matt?
Yeah, Dave, he's got to get to the 46. It looks like his knee is down even about the 47.5. Put the ball a little inside the 47. So I think they're going to mark this about a yard short and make it 4th down.
I agree with you, Matt. That looked like a pretty favorable spot for Notre Dame, and I expect this ball to be coming back. You see the sticks moving back as we speak. So Notre Dame is going to be faced with a 4th and short early on in the ball game, and Marcus Freeman has a really big decision to make near midfield.
And Notre Dame goes for it a lot. Now, part of that is they almost never, ever kick field goals, and they aren't in field goal range here anyway. But Notre Dame's very aggressive on 4th down, and with the power line, with the Heisman Trophy candidate running back, you would figure this maybe isn't his most difficult decision.
After further review, the runner was short at the line of game. It'll be 4th down.
All right, so it looks like they're going to spot it. I think Matt was almost exactly right. About a half a yard, almost a full yard short.
Yeah, and I agree with this decision to go for it on 4th down by Marcus Freeman. If you're Notre Dame, you don't want Stanford to have any hope tonight. You don't even want to give them the slightest chance to hang in this football game. You want a fast start. You got to take away all hope. I like this decision to go for it on 4th down.
Well, you got Love behind Carr. Tight end comes in motion. And Carr's going to rush up to the line, take the snap, try to sneak it, and I don't know. Maybe a last push got him there. Initially, I don't think he got it, but they're going to spot him for enough to get the 1st down. That was close.
Really was. Great initial effort by the Stanford defensive front. It was really the second effort by C.J. Carr, and then Jeremiah Love coming up and pushing the pile forward for a 1st down.
So the drive continues for the Fighting Irish. Right around the Stanford 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Cardinals showing some pressure for the outside. Stanford's playing without one of its best cornerbacks. Colin Wright is not going to play tonight. They do bring an extra rusher. Carr is going to step up and go down. Oh, that was that blitzer, I think, Jay Green from the outside, his safety spot, and he got to the QB.
Well, if you're going to win this football game, if you're Stanford, you definitely need to affect C.J. Carr. You're going to see pressure off the edge here. This is nickelback Jay Green, have an outstanding year for Stanford. But what it does by bringing that pressure is it creates one-on-one blocks across the front for Notre Dame, and Jay Green able to get to C.J. Carr when he scrambles.
Officially no gain on that 1st down play. 2nd and 10. Love in the backfield. They'll give it to Jeremiah Love. Right side run. There's that patented spin move. Man, I mean, he uses the spin move not just out in the open field one-on-one. He'll use it in traffic, and it makes him such a unique running back to watch.
And this is on Stanford's best defender, 35. Matt Rose, you were just talking about him earlier in this drive, Flem. 2nd in the ACC with 97 tackles, and Jeremiah Love makes him look silly in the hole.
There just aren't very many running backs who can do that. There are a lot of guys who will try a spin move from time to time. That's different. 3rd and 2 for Notre Dame. Love's going to get it again straight ahead, and there goes Love. And finally brought down inside the 25 at the 20. Maybe a touchdown saving tackle there, but first down Notre Dame, gain of 18.
Great block by the center, Joe Audin, 64, and then Jeremiah Love, you see he makes one miss. And this is what Jeremiah Love brings to the table. He can take any football the distance. So you better get 11 hats to Love when he's carrying the ball. Otherwise, he's going to make a game-breaking play for the end zone.
Mitchell Eber sort of held on for dear life. Love straight ahead. Jeremiah Love, what a move. Inside the 5, down to the 3. More great running from Love. 18 more yards. A workhorse on this first drive.
Well, great running and also great blocking by Lambert and Wagner. I wanted you to see this right guard, right tackle just completely wash down the Stanford front. And that's right tackle Wagner getting up to the 2nd level, getting hands on the linebacker. It's the combination of this offensive line along with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price that make the running attack so dangerous.
And this is where Stanford's defense has actually been really good, but Notre Dame's so hard to stop down here. Love is going to go down on 1st and goal. Maybe fell forward and got a yard. Anthony Franklin led the way from the defensive line. 2nd and goal coming up.
Stanford's been one of the best red zone defenses in the entire country this year. When you look at their statistics as a whole, yes, they give up some yards, especially in the pass game, but they're only surrendering touchdowns 46% of the time, which is 13th best in the FBS this year. Can they bend but not break against the Fighting Irish?
Frank Reich told us one of the keys to this game, make them kick some field goals. Love into the end zone, touchdown. No field goal here. Notre Dame takes the opening drive of the game and goes down the field to punch it in. Another touchdown for Jeremiah Love. Earning more votes maybe by the carry. He is just such a great all-around player, and he carried the load big time on that drive. He might be a little gassed.
How about that? 8 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown on the opening drive of the game for Jeremiah Love. Certainly making his case for the Heisman Trophy.
Eric Schmidt will attempt the point after. These have gotten a little more routine for Notre Dame. But as far as the kicking game goes, the Irish aren't taking anything for granted these days. Maybe what we do take for granted, the greatness of Jeremiah Love, who just set a new Notre Dame program record with his 21st touchdown this year. What a year for the great Jeremiah Love. Well, some history here tonight in Palo Alto. First drive of the game, Jeremiah Love. 8 carries on the drive, including the touchdown run to set the new Notre Dame single-season touchdown record. Jeremiah was just behind Jerome Bettis from his season a year ago. LaTanya and Jason Love, his mom and dad, are here to watch Jeremiah play. Final regular season game, and of course Notre Dame won't play next weekend. So assuming they make the playoff, which is not just a 100% slam dunk lock, we'll get into that as we go along tonight. That would be the next chance for Love and the Irish to take the field. Caden High is going to return this kickoff outside the 20 and get tripped up there. Stanford's offense comes on the field, but first to check with Matt Berry in studio.
All right, gentlemen, some interesting stuff happening in the Iron Bowl with your Capital One rewarding performance. Moments ago, Jeremiah Cobb takes it in for the Tigers, and we are tied at 20 apiece in the 4th quarter in Auburn.
All right, Matt. Well, that's a big game for Notre Dame fans to pay attention to, because Alabama very closely grouped with Notre Dame, fighting for those last playoff spots. Elijah Brown and the Stanford offense on the field for the first time, and a handoff to the running back Cole Tabb. And he gets a couple of yards. Elijah Brown, the redshirt freshman, who was not the starter at the beginning of the year. As the year has gone on, he's taken over and he started to play much better.
Yeah, he really has. This is his third consecutive start since taking over for Ben Gulbranson. And the thing that I can say about Elijah Brown, he's a winner. You go back to his high school career at the famed Mater Dei High School in Southern California, 42-2 as a starter. But tonight, this will be his toughest test yet against this vaunted Notre Dame defense.
Under center, a little jet sweep. Bryce Farrell is going to get the carry, and Notre Dame was ready for that. Gain of just a yard, so right away 3rd down coming up for the Cardinal. Big news for Stanford. They're playing without this guy, Micah Ford, their top running back, coming off maybe the best game of his career in Stanford's win against Cal in the big game last week. Hurt his hand in practice this week, and he's not going to go tonight.
Huge blow to the Stanford Cardinal. He was excellent a week ago against Cal, their rival. 29 carries, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Big loss to the Stanford offense. We'll see if they can keep the drive going here on 3rd down.
Notre Dame, a very good pass rush team. They bring some pressure. Brown throws it. It's incomplete. Trying to hit C.J. Williams. And Notre Dame, after the touchdown drive on offense, their defense comes out and forces a 3-and-out.
Well, and that's going to be the name of the game for Stanford's offense. Can they keep drives alive tonight on 3rd down? There's no secret what Notre Dame wants to do. They want to bring pressure and play man coverage. They're going to test you man-to-man. And right there, they just got the best of Stanford on the first 3rd down of the night.
Aiden Flintoff, the punter. Jordan Faison back to return. Notre Dame, they pressure every punt. Special teams has been a real strength outside of the place kicking for the Fighting Irish. The fair catch made for Notre Dame. All the history between these two programs, including the great Jim Plunkett. There's his Heisman Trophy here at Stanford.
ESPN College Football is presented by Downy Unstoppables, the laundry scent boosters that keep your clothes feisty fresh.
Well, senior night ceremonies here at Stanford before the game. Some great players who have given a lot to this program in a year of chaos. And I think you and I were talking about Frank Reich, the interim head coach, in a really difficult spot, who has made this not a great year. Stanford's 4-7, but a much more positive year than it could have been for a group of seniors that stuck around for a program that's trying to get its footing and get back to winning at a high level. Wasn't that long ago that Stanford was one of the top programs in the country. Notre Dame with a 7-0 lead. Play fake. C.J. Carr throws, and it's knocked down. Incomplete. Good play on the ball there, intended for Faison.
That was great coverage down the field by Brandon Nicholson. He's getting the start tonight for the injured Colin Wright, and he's got a tall task covering Jordan Faison in man-to-man coverage. Does a great job of undercutting the route. I think the ball is slightly thrown behind the wide receiver, but nevertheless, Nicholson there to make a play.
So 2nd and 10 for Notre Dame with Love, who carried the load on that first drive. Carr maybe changing something before the snap. Is going to hand it off to Love, who will try to turn the corner. Another spin move from Jeremiah Love. Even though it only got him maybe a couple extra yards, 4 overall on the 2nd down run. And he's a little slow to get up, which obviously that would be a big story for Notre Dame.
For an offensive injury.
Love holding his midsection there. I mean, that is the last thing that Notre Dame wants to see. Mom and Dad. Hoping that everything's okay. Kind of pointing to his rib cage. Ooh, he's in a lot of pain, huh?
Gosh, you just hate to see it. One of the best players in the country has a chance to win the Heisman Trophy, an outstanding teammate.
Well, he's up and he's walking off the field. Four different Stanford players were there to help bring him down. I don't know if maybe at the end it was a big guy. Ibar kind of landed on him with that knee.
Yeah, you see the knee. There's also a lot of weight coming down on a player. It's a cool night here in the Bay Area, so I'm sure the field is pretty firm. You don't want to speculate, but you hope for that young man's sake he's able to get back out there soon.
So he'll go into 10. The good news for Notre Dame is Jadarian Price is one of the best running backs in the country, and he comes on the field to take Love's place. 3rd and 6 for the Fighting Irish. Stanford again showing some pressure from the outside, and they'll bring that pressure. Carr across the middle, pass complete right at midfield, and enough for a first down. Will Pauling made the catch, gain of 7.
Well, you can just see the control that C.J. Carr has. He does the hard count. He recognizes the nickel pressure, and then he just simply replaces that with an inside slant. For a kid that's a freshman, I am just so impressed with how slow he sees the game. You can tell he sees the entire field. He's in complete control. He has great command at the line of scrimmage. Good pickup for the Fighting Irish.
Price stays in the game alongside Carr. Play fake to Price. Carr is going to step up and run. And Carr, kind of a half slide, gets dragged down. That's not a huge part of his game, Brock, but Carr's good enough with his legs to get a gain like that, 8 yards on first down.
That's right, Flem. He's a good athlete, and I think the thing that impresses me, it's his decision-making, when to let the football go down the field for the chunk play and when to keep it and tuck it like he did. He doesn't force throws. He has 22 touchdowns on the season to just 6 interceptions.
2nd down and 3. They'll swing it out left side. Price with a block in front. Price inside the 35, inside the 30. Finally, Clay Patterson gets him down, but that's 16 yards.
Love the block by left tackle 54, Anthony Knapp. You're going to see him come out on the left side of your screen to deliver a kick-out block for Price. Gets the party started with that block, and then you see Absher, 75, getting downfield for his tailback. We talk a lot about these running backs for Notre Dame, but it's really this offensive line that is the engine that makes this offense go.
1st and 10, Notre Dame. Already leading 7-0. Price right side, and Price. And again, that's something both Love and Price do so well. There wasn't a whole lot there. 3-yard gain.
Well, gosh, Jadarian Price, just such a physical back, 5'11", 210 pounds, and if you're down on field level with him, his legs look like tree trunks. Just a big physical bruising back. We talk a lot about how Jeremiah Love, his explosiveness, how he can take any football the distance. Jadarian Price, he can also take any football the distance, but he delivers those body blows as a powerful running back as well.
2nd down and 7 for Notre Dame. Price behind Carr, gets it, straight ahead run. And Price is just hard to bring down. 3 more yards inside the 25 to set up 3rd down at a spot where they're probably going for it on 4th down anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is 4-down territory, but that's really the name of the game for the Fighting Irish offense. It's the body blows that they deliver over the course of 4 quarters between their offensive line, tight ends, and these running backs. Can you match their physicality for 4 quarters? And right now for defensive coordinator Andy Thompson, he has to find a way to force this Fighting Irish offense into a field goal if they're going to hang in this ball game.
3rd down and 4. Price will get it again. Price changes direction, and he gets tackled and maybe got a yard. So this will be a good test of whether or not Marcus Freeman wants to give his field goal unit an opportunity, or if the Irish will go for it here.
Well, it looks like no hesitation by Marcus Freeman. He's keeping the offense on the field, and I like this decision. To me, it's signaling to your offense, hey, we're here to win this game and win it big. Go out there, get me a 1st down, and let's put some points on the board here in the 1st quarter.
And it may signal something else as well. They last kicked a field goal on October 11th. 4th down and 3 for Notre Dame. Carr in the pocket. Has time, swings it out. Price caught. 1st down and more inside the 10. And dragged out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, this is just too easy for C.J. Carr. They're going to bring a backer pressure. The safety's in coverage on the running back. He needs to get out here to the flat quicker. He hesitates. He gets his eyes caught in the backfield. And if you give Jadarian Price a half a step, he's going to beat you to the 1st down marker.
Yeah, I like how you said that. They made that look easy. So going down the field again. 1st and goal with Price alongside C.J. Carr. And Price broke 1 tackle. Inside the 5 and all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Just such a special running back. We talk about the tandem of Love and Price. Mel Kiper Jr. has these two as the number 1 and 2 running backs that could potentially enter the NFL draft this year. There's just no let up. There's constantly fresh legs in the backfield, and you're seeing that right now at a Price.
Already, I mean, you could imagine they could be wearing down this Stanford defense. Price straight ahead and fighting for the goal line. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Well, they have hardly thrown the ball. A couple of those little screen pass, swing passes. It has been power football in the first quarter, and it's working.
Yes, it is. How about this second effort by Jadarian Price? Let's make sure he got in. But look at the leg drive, and it's really leg drive with one leg. I mean, the linebacker has one leg in his arms. He's kind of hopping around. Just shows the power that Price brings to the running back position. And you said it, Flem. There's no secret to how Notre Dame wants to play this football game. The ball's going to stay on the ground. They're going to play with physicality and attitude against Stanford.
Extra point is up and good. What a start for Notre Dame. 2 really impressive 11-play touchdown drives, doing it on the ground. No love. Okay, Jadarian Price, just about as good as the Heisman Trophy candidate.
We bet.
Back here in Palo Alto, where a moment ago when the Irish were having that scoring drive, we saw star running back Jeremiah Love have to exit the game and go into the medical tent. It looked as if he was stretching out his back to stretch out his lower abdomen area. He kept pushing on it as he just exited the tent a moment ago. He's walking back. I don't know if he's ultimately going to go back to the locker room or not, but he was smiling with his teammates before he had to head back into the tent, and it looked like the trainer was cutting up a piece of foam to put on his padding, but now he's heading back, guys.
Okay, so maybe some relatively good news for Notre Dame. They lead 14-0 as Stanford gets the ball for the second time. There's Jeremiah Love, who's standing there. Doesn't have his helmet with him at the moment, but I mean, just read the body language. He's smiling. He's sort of saying, I'm okay, you think. I don't want to speculate, but
anytime you see a smile in that situation from a player, that's usually a good sign for a guy that is well within the Heisman race. You hate to see it for him personally, but as far as the team goes with Jadarian Price in the backfield, I don't think this Notre Dame run game is going to skip a beat.
Meanwhile, Stanford's only had the ball for 3 plays. They're down 14-0. They need something positive on offense. Elijah Brown will throw across the middle, and there's something positive. Stanford's first down. The tight end Sam Roush with his first catch, a gain of 14. Our impact players brought to you by Brooks. Hey, good timing.
It is, and for you just saw him, Sam Roush, the tight end for Stanford. He's going to need to have a big night. Excellent player, going to play on Sunday. C.J. Williams, 5th in the ACC when it comes to receptions, needs to win versus man coverage. Leonard Moore, quite possibly the best cover corner in all of America, and Adon Schuler having a fantastic season last year, a freshman All-American.
That pass from Brown out of the short right flat intended for Roush, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Sam Roush has had a great career, 2nd most in the ACC among tight ends with those 46 receptions coming in. He is pushing 270 pounds. He's a great blocker and a good pass catcher.
He's just a fantastic all-around tight end. Talking to the coaching staff yesterday, they said just how much they love working with him. They said he's a blue-collar kid. He's never missed a practice in his entire career. There's nothing he can't do, and he's going to need to have a big game tonight if Stanford's going to pull off the big upset.
30 seconds.
Cardinal are going to use their first timeout of the first half, and Frank Reich looks a little cranky, I think, realizing the importance of this drive. His team's in danger here. We know they're big underdogs, but coming off a game where they built a lot of confidence, played by far their best game of the year, feeling like they could play this one tonight in a certain way with a certain style to try to keep the game close. If they're going to do that, they got to move the ball here.
That's correct, and it starts with not beating yourself, and I think that's why Frank Reich was so upset. You don't want to burn those precious timeouts because you're not organized on offense. And talking to him yesterday, you get the sense that he's very confident in what his football team can do tonight, but he knows that there is a very specific formula with not a lot of margin for error in it for Stanford to pull off the upset, and it starts with efficiency on 1st and 2nd down with his offense. Have to get positive yards.
A nice run straight ahead for Cole Tabb. Gain of 5 on second down, out to the 44-yard line with 3rd and 5 coming up for the Cardinal.
Cole Tabb having a really big task tonight, stepping in for the injured Micah Ford, who had a monster game against Stanford's rival last week, Cal. 29 carries, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Tabb's going to have to carry the load for Stanford tonight, but on 3rd down, it comes down to man-to-man matchups. You can see it right now on your screen. It is man-to-man across the board. Notre Dame showing pressure. Who can win for Stanford?
Pressure comes. Brown's throwing deep and incomplete. Man, he had C.J. Williams open, but he missed him, so it's 4th and 5, and Stanford is going to send the punt team out, even trailing 14-0.
Well, you're right, Flem. Elijah Brown, he certainly had Williams down the field. Williams did an excellent job of winning at the line of scrimmage, stacking the corner, and he had definitely at least a step on him. Just the football got too far out in front of the wide receiver, and those are those opportunities that cannot be missed by Stanford if they're going to hang in the game.
Another punt for the Cardinal. Another fair catch for Notre Dame at the 15-yard line. Let's check in studio again with Matt Berry.
All right, Dave Fleming, drama everywhere. 4th and 2. Kalen DeBoer, instead of kick the field goal, goes for it. Look at the poise by Ty Simpson to find Isaiah Horton for the 3rd time tonight. Alabama up 27-20. 2-minute timeout. Auburn with the ball. Moments ago, they were once down 31-14. TJ Harden punches it in. 21 unanswered points. SMU has grabbed the lead. 35-31 over Cal.
Wow, I mean, that is drama, and that SMU, if SMU wins that game, they go to the ACC championship game next weekend to face Virginia, who beat Virginia Tech. What a comeback for SMU here in Northern California. Jadarian Price still in the game as the tailback gets a yard on 1st down.
Really like what defensive coordinator Andy Thompson has done early on in the ball game against the Fighting Irish. Keep an eye on the defensive looks. He is constantly changing the picture for this Fighting Irish offense and quarterback C.J. Carr. At times you're seeing a 4-down defensive front, a 5-down. You see a 2-high safety look, a 1-high safety look. He's Rolodexing the looks to try to confuse the young quarterback.
So far, though, the power game of Notre Dame has been too much for Stanford to handle. At the end of the 1st quarter, the Irish on the ground. Spectacular with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Both have been outstanding. 14-0 Notre Dame. End of quarter number 1. Under the lights at Stanford Stadium, we start the 2nd quarter. Notre Dame has held 8 opponents to 0 points in 1st quarters this year. Defensive coordinator Chris Ash has to be happy. His team has done it again. C.J. Carr got rid of it. And an incomplete pass to avoid the sack. Arm looked like it was coming forward. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Excellent job by Kaminsky on the edge for Stanford. Getting upfield with C.J. Carr. C.J. Carr trying to sell run and get this football out to the perimeter to his tight end. Kaminsky not fooled for a second, sticks to his rules, and forces a 3rd and 9. In a lot of ways, you feel like for Stanford, this is a gotta-have-it moment. They need to get off the field and give their offense some field position.
1st quarter was lopsided in favor of Notre Dame. You're right. Stanford needs a stop here. Carr with time, now rolling. Back to his left, still looking downfield, and he's going to kind of loft it up there. A spectacular effort by Malachi Fields, but he's out of bounds, so it's incomplete.
And that's the stop the Stanford Cardinal desperately needed. Excellent job in coverage down the field. You saw C.J. Carr. He had all the time in the world to try to find a wide receiver. His offensive line gave him plenty of time. But that Stanford Cardinals secondary just excellent in glove coverage.
Touchdown drives first 2 times Notre Dame had it. This time, 3 and out. Liam Thorpe is back to return the punt. James Rendell, and they fake it! And a beautifully executed fake down the left sideline, inside the 20, and the speed all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Wow, what a play. It's the safety, Luke Talich, 84 yards.
I tell you what, all Luke Talich does is make plays for this Notre Dame team. You're going to see nobody for Stanford has any clue that he might get this football. Just absolutely wide open. Does a great job out in the open field to make one miss. And it doesn't matter if it's defense or special teams. Luke Talich just makes plays for this football team. Talking with Marcus Freeman yesterday, he said he is our Swiss Army knife.
Called him our closer on defense, comes in to make plays to put games away. They're using the closer in the second quarter. Wow, what a fake by Notre Dame. Their special teams, put the place kicking aside, has just been awesome. 21-0 Fighting Irish. Hey, Taco Bell Live Boss Student Section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Boss Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year? Stanford students sort of shaking their heads. It's Thanksgiving week. Most students are still back at home. They can't believe what they're watching. They finally got a stop from their defense, and Notre Dame pulled off just an awesome fake punt for a long touchdown. And they lead 21-0 just seconds into the second quarter. A week after they scored 70. They're threatening to put up a big number again here tonight. All right, another check. All kinds of stuff happening around the country. Back to the studio with Matt.
What a night in college football. So much on the line. Moments ago, Auburn driving at the 30-yard line, and then Cam Coleman fumbles the ball. Alabama survives 27-20 as Alabama was on their way to score. And then Cal, they drive all the way down the field. They now have a 3-point lead on SMU with 42 seconds left.
All right, keep us posted on that one. That's a big game for a lot of reasons. Number one, SMU fighting for a spot in the ACC championship game. They'd be one win away from a spot in the playoff for a second straight year. Number two, Miami lost to SMU. And if SMU goes down tonight, doesn't play for that championship, maybe, I mean, you're talking about resumes so tight. It could be a damaging result for Miami, even though they have nothing to do with SMU and Cal. Cedric Irvin with the carry, first play of this drive for Stanford, down 21-0. Elijah Brown, play fake, is going to dump it to a tight end. And a nice play for Stanford. That's Benji Blackburn, first down Cardinal.
Great job of Blackburn selling that he's going to help in the run game. Then disengages with the Notre Dame defender, slips out for his quarterback just for an easy throw. And I love that out of Frank Reich. At some point in this drive, you just have to get Elijah Brown comfortable in rhythm. Prior to that throw, he was 1 for 4 on the ball game. And Frank Reich, being a former quarterback, knows how important it is to get a young quarterback into rhythm and build some confidence early on in the football game. It has to happen right now for Stanford.
Irvin alongside Brown in the backfield. Play fake. Brown in the pocket. Lots of time, and he just airmails Bryce Farrell. Man, that one came out sort of funny for Elijah Brown.
Just a bit off target, and that's something that Elijah Brown really hasn't shown much of in his 2 prior starts this season. He's been a really accurate downfield passer. I thought he made some excellent throws in the big game against Cal a week ago, displaying that accuracy, pushing the ball down the field. That last one just got away from him a bit.
And Stanford beat Cal. We just showed that update. Cal trying to pull off the upset against SMU, a ranked team. Stanford beat Cal last week 31-10 on this field. Handoff right side run for a gain of maybe 3. That'll be third down for Stanford.
And a big reason for that win for Stanford a week ago, it was Micah Ford in the backfield, who Stanford unfortunately doesn't have tonight. And then it was the defense. They forced 3 turnovers on Cal. 2 of those went for defensive scores. And that was really kind of the name of the game. Offense kind of got things going a bit in the second half. But this has got to have a drive for Stanford. They have to find a way to stay on the field here on third down.
Notre Dame defensive lineman almost made contact, jumping off sides, got back. Brown across the middle. That one is caught. And a nice little effort there at the end of the play to get to midfield. Stanford first down.
Notre Dame showed pressure early on. They ended up dropping out at the snap, only rushed 4. Great job of Elijah Brown keeping his eyes down the field, staying composed, and delivering a strike to Brown for a first down.
Marcus Brown, who was Elijah Brown, so there's no relation, but They were high school teammates, so they know each other very well. Now you got Champ Hampton in the backfield, and he hasn't had much action this year, but with no Micah Ford, he'll get a carry. Gain of a yard, maybe 2.
I know it hasn't looked very pretty for the Stanford offense, but when we talked to Frank Reich yesterday, this is kind of how he thought the game would play out offensively. He said we need to be okay getting 2 to 3 yards on 1st and 2nd down. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be tough runs inside, and then we need to convert 3rd downs. And right now, Stanford's starting to find that formula, but it has to happen this drive down 21.
Yeah. Roush in motion. Brown with pressure coming, gets hit and incomplete. Trying to hit Farrell across the middle. Still down on the turf. Jeremiah Love, by the way, was back in the locker room, and he's jogging back on the field. Scored a touchdown on Notre Dame's first drive tonight, and then took a shot. You see him kind of touching that left side of his rib cage area. We don't know if he's going to come back in this game or not.
Last 3rd and long, Notre Dame elected to play zone coverage. I'll be interested to see if they tighten things up and play some man here on 3rd and 9.
Pressure comes, and a pass caught. Nice catch, Caden High, but not anywhere close to enough for a 1st down. Now Stanford is in Notre Dame territory for the first time of the game, and down 21-0. You would think that Stanford feels like it's got to go for it.
Well, it looks like no hesitation out of Frank Reich, keeping the offense on the field. And with the success that Notre Dame is having right now, playing man coverage, bringing some internal pressure from the linebacker position, I expect to see more of that, because it's going to force Elijah Brown to make a quick decision with the football.
4th down and 7 for Stanford. The running back Tab in motion. Pressure comes up the middle, and a pass incomplete. Stanford wanted the penalty flag. Leonard Moore, one of the best cover men in all of college football, was just blanketing C.J. Williams. Incomplete. Stanford turns it over on downs.
Well, C.J. Williams has had an excellent season for the Stanford Cardinal, but tonight he's got his toughest test yet, going against the best cover corner in America, and Leonard Moore.
ESPN College Football, presented by Downey Unstoppables, is brought to you by Fairfield, part of Marriott Bonvoy. Wherever the season takes you, Marriott Bonvoy has a hotel for every kind of fan.
First time these two teams met, Notre Dame and Stanford, 100 years ago in the Rose Bowl. Great pictures. Some legends of the game were in that game. The coaches, Pop Warner for Stanford, Newt Rockne for Notre Dame. The Irish won their first national championship by beating Stanford in the Rose Bowl 100 years ago.
That's really cool.
That is some cool shared history. Aeneas Williams is in the backfield as Notre Dame takes over 1st and 10. And young C.J. Carr with the Irish leading big down the right sideline, incomplete. Some hand fighting there. Fields the intended target. Incomplete. It's 2nd down. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, Dave, Jeremiah Love not on the field, but he is on the sideline with his helmet strapped up. A Notre Dame staffer told me when they took him back to the locker room, it was to get fitted for a rib protector. Since he's come back out after taking that knee in the midsection that we saw earlier, he was warming up, did some high knees. He gave a thumbs up to the crowd when they asked him if he was okay, got some good applause, and then did a little bit of a King Kong pounding on the chest. So I guess the protector is working.
I guess so. Good info from Stormy. 2nd down and a handoff straight ahead. Aeneas Williams with a nice carry to midfield.
Good tough running inside by Aeneas Williams. Stanford doing everything they can to get this Notre Dame running game off track. Bringing a nickel pressure there with Jay Green off the edge. Aeneas Williams just runs right through the arm tackle. You got to wonder, is this 4-down territory for Notre Dame? As aggressive as Marcus Freeman has been early on, I would expect it to be.
Handoff. Williams straight ahead. Williams breaks through. 1st down. inside the 40 down to the 38, gain of 10.
I'll tell you what, Williams is impressive. He is running hard and with great pad levels, seldom used when you have guys like Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price coming into tonight's game. Only 14 carries on the season, but he's certainly making most of his opportunities tonight and running really hard here.
He had a couple nice runs last week in the blowout win against Syracuse. First and 10. Over the top, Carr has Williams open, catch inside the 15. He kind of looked like Jeremiah Love running that pattern.
Well, it's really Eli Raridon that gets us started. So this is the linebacker, Matt Rhodes, that's in coverage. Watch out, Raridon kind of gets the linebacker to pause, and then it's Williams up the sideline. It all starts with the tight end making the linebacker go underneath, and now Matt Rhodes is in trail mode, and it's an easy throw and catch for the Irish.
Williams, handoff right side. Williams, man, the third string back for Notre Dame. Very impressive drive for him. Gain of 6. It'll be second down.
Stanford's made a living at home in the month of November of creating turnovers on defense. In their 2 prior home games this season, in the month of November, they've created 7 turnovers. They need to find something here to get this Notre Dame offense off track, because right now it's all Fighting Irish.
Second and 4. Notre Dame can get a first down. Williams gets the ball and gets driven to the turf. Nice tackle there by Hunter Barth. It'll be third down.
It was an excellent job of Hunter Barth diagnosing the play, triggering right downhill. You're going to see 23 right in the middle of your screen, defeats the block, gets into the backfield. Perfect form tackle.
So now third and 5. Receiver in motion. Carr will throw, and the pass is caught, and then a broken tackle inside the 5. The big tight end Raridon will make it first and goal, Notre Dame. What an effort by Raridon.
Great effort by Eli Raridon. Would not be denied, but also the recognition by C.J. Carr. He understands this isn't a goal-to-go situation. There is an opportunity to get a first down, so get it to your big tight end and let him go to work.
Now it's goal to go. Williams straight ahead. And touchdown, Notre Dame. So we've had a Jeremiah Love drive. We've had a Jadarian Price drive. And now we have ourselves an Aeneas Williams drive.
Well, listen, give credit where credit's due. All 3 of these running backs have done terrific things tonight. But why? It's the big fellas up front. It's those 5 offensive linemen. It's the tight ends getting involved in the run blocking. Yeah, that football definitely crossed the white line. It's just so impressive. You know, and this is a Notre Dame offensive line. They're down 3 starters from the beginning of the year, and it doesn't matter who steps in. They just play as one cohesive unit, and that continuity up front has really been shown off lately.
Extra point up and good. And for Notre Dame, final game of the regular season, trying to make an argument to make sure they're included in the playoff. Pretty strong argument so far, up 28-0. Well, I have a feeling you and I are going to have plenty of time in this game to talk about the playoff and the implications of this week's game, set the stage for Champ Week next week. 28-0 Notre Dame. Very impressive.
I think Notre Dame's making a statement right now.
They are.
To that college football playoff committee.
Where we sort of know that style points do indeed matter. Our drive recap brought to you by Target. Last drive for Notre Dame, kind of more of the same.
Yeah, it was all Aeneas Williams, really. It started on the ground with 22. We mentioned it, seldom used, but definitely making the most of his carries, running hard. I love the pad level that he plays with. And then, hey, why not throw the football to Aeneas Williams down the field? Excellent throw and catch, and then pound it in behind the big offensive line and tight end Eli Raridan. Stanford just has no answers right now on defense for this Fighting Irish offense.
And the offense hasn't been real good either for Stanford. Add that up, and you got a 4-touchdown deficit. Handoff on first down to Tab for a gain of 3. There is a penalty flag on the play. I don't think we've had a penalty yet until now.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 47. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic, first down.
It's on Jason Onye. Big defensive tackle up front. Experienced player. Look inside 47. You see the hands to the face with the offensive lineman, and then he grabs the running back's face mask. Kind of a 2-for-1 on that last play.
Otherwise, he played that 100% clean.
Yes. Yes.
1st and 10, Stanford. Brown will throw and knocked away. Leonard Moore again. And here comes a flag on this one. Notre Dame does not like that, and I think I understand why.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 86. That penalty's declined. 2nd down.
Okay, so it wasn't even on Leonard Moore. Marcus Freeman maybe apologizing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was on Sam Roush, and the only thing I can think of, it kind of looked like he, along with the wide receiver to his side, Bryce Farrell, were both on the line of scrimmage. That's kind of an interesting call.
So 2nd and 10. Handoff. Tab will get to the 45 and gain just a couple yards.
Listen, Frank Reich is a great offensive mind. Played quarterback in the National Football League for 14 years. He's been a head coach in the NFL, an offensive coordinator, winning Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. But at some point, I think he needs to send some motion, create some bunches and stacks to help his wide receivers create separation against this great secondary that Notre Dame has. You see the glove coverage by the Notre Dame secondary. At some point, you need to help out your wide receivers, create some motion, bunches and stacks.
Brown on 3rd down, over the top, incomplete. Again, just absolutely zero separation.
If you line up stationary against Leonard Moore and Christian Gray, it's just going to be a really difficult night for you offensively. Leonard Moore, arguably the best cover corner in all of America. Christian Gray is playing his 47th career game tonight. Excellent player, started every game this season and last year. You just need to do something to help out your wide receiver core.
And now Notre Dame moves. I mean, they're so keyed up on special teams, the Irish, to make a big play. Every once in a while you get one of those. Notre Dame might be motivated, or Stanford might be motivated.
Defense number 8, underbated to the backfield. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You bring it up to midfield. It's 4th and 3. Maybe the Cardinal decide to go for it.
Offense is heading out. I love this by Frank Reich. What do you have to lose? Down 28, midway through the 2nd quarter. You can't get bowl eligible. You might as well lay it all on the line tonight. And if you can make Notre Dame pay for that mistake on 4th down, might create a little momentum for your ball club.
So after the penalty, Stanford going for it. Brown in the pocket. Will throw. He hits his man. Caught. C.J. Williams. 1st down across the formation. Inside the 40. Down to the 35. Gain of 13.
Well, here's some creativity out of Frank Reich. Here's Williams. Watch the tight end Sam Roush. He's going to create a natural rub for Williams as he comes across the field in man coverage. It picks Christian Gray off of Williams, and that's the help that I was talking about. The more things that you can do like that to help your talented wide receivers get open, it's only going to help your team.
Problem for Williams is at the end of the play, he looked a little hurt, so he's off the field. But Stanford converts. Tab with the carry and trying to fight his way forward. Running yards have been tough to come by with no Micah Ford tonight for Stanford. That's a gain of 3.
Nothing's been easy for this Stanford offense, but you just kind of got to stick with the grindstone here. You can't give up on the run game. You've done some good things. You're getting 3-4 yards a carry. But eventually, how can you create an explosive play down the field? Elijah Brown and his arm, he's going to need to be a factor. And with C.J. Williams on the sideline, that's not going to be easy for Frank Reich to manufacture that explosive play. But he has to dig deep in his playbook and find one.
Double tight ends for Stanford on 2nd down. Handoff straight ahead. Tab bounces it right side, then cuts it forward and gets close. Maybe. Jalen Stroman with the tackle. And I think he stopped about a half-yard short.
We talked earlier about how Sam Roush is just a complete tight end. Watch 86 on the end of the line of scrimmage. It's against a really good Notre Dame defender. Does an excellent job of capturing that edge.
Now helps the Cardinal push forward and get another 1st down.
I like that little bit of hurry-up tempo by Stanford, trying to catch Notre Dame off guard. Good job by Frank Reich getting his offense up to the line of scrimmage and picking up a fresh set of downs.
Well, for Stanford, this is the formula. Problem is the formula for them starting to kick in down 4 touchdowns, but their best drive of the night right here. It'll be 2nd down after a gain of 2.
Well, call it the optimistic in me, but remember here, Stanford gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. So if you can find a way to get a touchdown on this drive, get a stop, don't give Notre Dame any more points, come out of the halftime and find another touchdown. I mean, like I said, you know, it's probably the optimistic in me, but this is a critical drive for Stanford.
Yeah. 2nd down and 9. This is Champ Hampton with the carry, and he gets just a yard. Well, I mean, look, part of the reason I think why you're framing it that way, Stanford felt really good coming off that win last week, and they felt like maybe it had to go a certain way, and that wasn't falling behind 28-0. But I think they felt like if they could play this game on their terms, they at least had a chance to use that formula and hang around in this game, see what happens.
That was certainly the sense I got when we spoke with Frank Reich and the staff yesterday. Comes down to turnovers and making some big plays offensively.
3rd and 7, and no penalty flag thrown. Intended for Caden High. There was some contact there with Devontae Smith. Now it's 4th down, and it looks like the field goal team's coming out. So even down 28-0, Stanford wants some points. Clock is rolling, which it was an incomplete pass. And Kenny is the place kicker.
The game clock to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2-3-0. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't do it, but.
Correction. Please set the game clock
39-yard try coming up here.
2-4-1.
Kenny did not have a great game last week, but he's had a very good Stanford career. All right, good snap and hold, and the kick is on the way, and it is good. Well, you're down 28-0. Some people might say, why are you kicking 3? But I think for Frank Reich, trying to build something positive here. Gets on the board for the first time. 2:38 to go in the 2nd quarter. 28-3 Notre Dame. How about our college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One? Brock, this was coming into the action this weekend.
Yeah, no, what great games we had today. The one that really jumps out to me, it's right at the top. It's Ohio State going into Ann Arbor. The game at Michigan, it was a game that had so much hype around it because Ohio State hasn't won in years. And it was just a beautiful scene for football. If you love college ball, snow flurries, physical game. But Ohio State, Julian Sayin and that defense, I tell you what, they came to play. Very impressive performance, and they stay undefeated.
How about a Texas Tech fan here at Stanford Stadium?
Nothing surprises me here. Why not?
Hey, Texas Tech, one thing that'll be interesting on Tuesday, do the Red Raiders move into one of those top 4 spots? Do they vault over Texas A&M? Little flub there on the kickoff. Notre Dame picks it up and ends up actually getting it out across the 20. Ethan Long with the pickup there.
I love what Stanford is trying to do on special teams. This is the second time they've done this tonight. They did it on the opening kickoff. They're trying to steal possessions here. This is on purpose. They are trying to hit a front line guy for Notre Dame. That one just goes a little bit to the left at number 19 for the Fighting Irish. But I like what Frank Reich is trying to accomplish there. If he can steal a possession for his ball club, he's going to do it.
Hey, look who's back in the game. Now, that's pretty interesting. Jeremiah Love out on the field. Carr is going to throw on first down, and a good open field tackle as Fields makes the catch.
How about the toughness and leadership this shows for Jeremiah Love? There is no reason for him to be out there on the field. Obviously, his football team has bigger things to play for in the future, but it just shows how much his teammates mean to him and what this game means.
2nd down and 6. And another completion out on the left side to Raritan, the tight end. At the 30, it'll be 3rd down, and the clock will go down to the 2-minute timeout. So Notre Dame playing an excellent first half here, a long way from home. Late night in Northern California.
I'm Matt Barry. Coming up on the Lexus Halftime Report, we are heading live to Oxford to be joined by Pete Thamel to see what the latest is on Lane Kiffin. There's been movement within the last half hour to 45 minutes. Plus, Ohio State finally gets over their Michigan problem. And what a rivalry Saturday it was. EJ and Joey join me coming up on a busy final Saturday of the season.
That's a good tease. Jeremiah Love, he gets swarmed. So on 3rd down, they hand it to Love, who's back in the game. And clock is going to stop. I don't know if Stanford called the timeout. I think they did. Love helmet came off. Jeremiah Love had a great first drive, got landed on, looked like with a knee to his ribs, has missed most of the rest of the first half. Just came back in for that series. And on 4th and 2, looks like Notre Dame's going to have to punt.
Yeah, and how about that play by Hunter Barth? You see right there, number 23. Excellent job at the line of scrimmage, forcing the 4th down. Kind of surprised Notre Dame ran the football there, but Stanford was kind of baiting them. They were playing a too high shell defense, protecting against the deep shot. Notre Dame had the box count to run the football, but Hunter Barth made a great play.
So what do you think? Another fake punt coming here?
Well, wouldn't be surprised, and I think Tyler Buckner is on the field, the backup quarterback, number 10.
Is he going to block anybody or tackle anybody? They're going to let the punt bounce. It takes a Stanford bounce, and Notre Dame will down it just inside the 30. So the Cardinal do get the ball back here with 1:41 still to go. Well, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, you can catch NFL Countdown, break down all the Sunday matchups and playoff implications. Sam Darnold going one-on-one with Jeremy Schaap. And then on Monday, and a whole lot more besides. Monday, you got Giants-Patriots. Patriots, incredible story in the NFL with Peyton and Eli, the all-cast on ESPN2, Monday, 8 Eastern. Well, let's see if Stanford can somehow get some more points on the board. Elijah Brown, the Stanford freshman quarterback, incomplete on the first throw of the drive.
It's a big opportunity for Stanford. Minute 36, They got a timeout in their back pocket. Plenty of time to go down the field and get some points. And remember, Stanford gets the football to start the third quarter. So if they can come away with a touchdown here, great opportunity for the Cardinal.
Brown pressured, throws, and that one is caught, but a great open field tackle. Caden High was dragged to the turf by Devontae Smith. And now is Notre Dame calling a timeout? With 1:27 to go. Third and long coming up.
They're first.
It's the Irish who want to stop the clock.
I think Notre Dame's taking that timeout for one reason. And it's because, in my opinion, the College Football Playoff Committee showed this week that how you win matters. You get points for the style of play and how you go about winning football games. And Notre Dame, they're going to leave nothing to chance. It is pedal to the metal. And they are all systems go here tonight.
Well, you and I will spend some time in the second half talking about Notre Dame's resume and how maybe things got a little more complicated this weekend. Notre Dame also, because they don't get a chance to play in a conference championship game, this is the last game they'll play before the playoff field is selected. Coming into this week, number 9 in those rankings, which is right on the edge.
It's time for Traore to make a play off the edge. Dynamic pass rusher for the Fighting Irish.
He has been quiet. Brown on third down. Throws into coverage. And it looked like it was intercepted. Leonard Moore, man, he is so good. And the only question was, did he hold on to it and get his feet inbounds? He did. Notre Dame comes up with the turnover.
Well, we've been talking about Leonard Moore all night long, and arguably the best cover corner in all of America. Somebody that you're probably not going to want to test too often, and Elijah Brown finding out the hard way, excuse me. Leonard Moore making play after play tonight. And at some point, the young quarterback, Elijah Brown, needs to start testing a different defensive back for the Fighting Irish.
I mean, you're right about it. They've gone after him a bunch of times. Does not seem smart.
Listen, he has the mental makeup and physical tool set to just be an outstanding corner. And he's put that on display time and time again tonight.
So now Notre Dame with a chance to get some points on the board. Carr out of the open. Nice move. Gets tackled inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line. And Notre Dame will go fast here.
Missed opportunity for Carr. He had Jordan Faison for a touchdown down the field on a big post. Normally something C.J. Carr sees.
He'll throw on second down. That one's incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 56 seconds to go. 3rd and 4 coming up. Well, Notre Dame's 4 of 8 on 3rd down.
What does Andy Thompson have here? Defensive coordinator for Stanford. How can he force a negative play? Doesn't really have a war daddy up front on that defensive line. Kind of need to manufacture a pass rush with pressure, twists, and stunts.
Throw across the middle, and that's caught for a first down. Nice delivery there. The tight end Ty Washington gain of 11. 2 timeouts for Notre Dame. Inside the 30. Irish on the move after the Moore interception. Carr throws right side. That one's caught. Inbounds, trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Malachi Fields, great effort there. Down to the 20-yard line to stop the clock. Gain of 8.
Fields just so strong. Just an absolute beast outside. 6'4", 222 pounds. Just a great individual effort to get this football out of bounds and ultimately stop the clock.
And that incredible catch a few weeks ago at Pitt. Price alongside Carr in the backfield on 2nd down at 2. Carr, time again, going toward the end zone, and incomplete. With no penalty flag thrown, intended for Pauling, with Jay Green in coverage.
Really nice coverage by Jay Green in phase with Will Pauling down the field. I like where this football goes. You see Will Pauling kind of looking back for that football a little too soon. You like to see a receiver kind of keep his head forward and dig a little longer. You see the reaction by C.J. Carr, feeling like he could have gave his wide receiver a better opportunity.
So third down here. Tight end in motion, Reardon. Pressure got picked up. The slant delivered perfectly for a Notre Dame first down. There's Faison inside the 15. Timeout, Fighting Irish.
Just a beautiful throw by C.J. Carr. Great hands catch by Jordan Faison. Went in on the outside short in route.
Please set the game clock to 30 seconds. 3-0.
Yeah, that was a nice conversion there. So 30 seconds on the clock. Wednesday, third annual ACC SEC Women's Basketball Challenge begins. Auburn against Syracuse, 5 Eastern. Thursday night, you get SMU Arkansas. Catch all the action on the ACC Network or the ESPN app. So 1st and 10 Irish. Notre Dame, remember, I mean, it sounds like it can't be true, but it is true. They last kicked a field goal, made a field goal on October 11th. Wow. That's their last made field goal.
That's a long time ago for them.
It seems like a whole different season. They'd like to just get a touchdown here. They're going for the end zone, and it is caught. No, out of bounds. Fields snatched it, but ruled out of bounds. Now, yeah, they're going to, the officials were talking.
Incomplete pass, 2nd down.
Thought that was really good coverage by Brandon Nicholson on the outside. He's using the sideline as an extra defender. Did a good job trying to squeeze Malachi Fields out of bounds. Watch that left foot.
Yep, good call.
The toes definitely hit first, it looked like inbounds, but when that heel comes down in the same motion, it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. You have to be able to drag that toe inbounds before the heel touches out of bounds.
So 2nd and 10 Notre Dame, and now clock stopped.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Okay, they're going to take a look at that. Well, we've kept Matt Austin up tonight, so we might as well bring Matt in for this one. What do you see, Matt?
Yeah, Dave, Brock explained it perfectly. If the toe and the heel come down in one natural motion and the heel hits out of bounds, it's an incomplete pass. As Brock said, if he could drag the toe or dot the I with the toe and step out without the heel coming down, that would be a catch. But in this case, this is a pretty obvious incomplete pass.
Good explanation by both of you.
How about that? Get lucky once in a while.
We have our rules expert, Matt Austin. We have our rules expert in the booth, Brock Osweiler.
Well, that's thanks to Steve Shaw sending out those videos every week. Every week. They're on YouTube. If you're a fan of the sport, check out the replay videos. You'll learn the rules of the game. Thank you, Steve Shaw.
Yeah. Takes a lot of effort every week.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Please set the game clock to 27 seconds.
Okay, 27 seconds on the clock.
Really light box for Stanford with Notre Dame still having a timeout. Don't be surprised if they elect to run the football somewhere.
We got Price alongside C.J. Carr. Instead, they're going to throw across the middle, incomplete, trying to hit the tight end. Reardon, but knocked away. Hunter Barth has been all over the field in this first half.
Yeah, he has. Really tight coverage by Stanford. Trying to hit the big tight end, 6'7", 250 pounds over the middle of the field. Really good job by Barth.
So 3rd and 10 now for Notre Dame. Ahead 28-3 here, end of the first half. Price with Carr. And now timeout, Stanford.
Charge timeout, Stanford.
That's Stanford's last timeout
of the half. 30 seconds.
Want to make sure they've got everything organized on defense. For 20 years, Allstate has celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you, Allstate. there's a chance that Notre Dame might actually need the field goal nets. We'll see.
Well, Marcus Freeman did tell us if they use the kickers tonight in a field goal situation, he wants it to be in a situation where his kicker can build confidence. And I feel like where they are right now with the field position they have, it's kind of right up that alley to get your kicker out there and go build some confidence.
No team has had more kicking problems. Now they feel like Eric Schmidt, who's going to do all the place kicking tonight, they feel like he's made some progress in practice. But the other thing that Marcus Freeman told us, he said, at some point, we're going to have to make some field goals to win one of these games. So he knows he's got to get his guy a little confidence built. 3rd down and 10 out of the timeout. 23 seconds to go first half. Four-man rush for Stanford. Carr throws it short. Price with the catch. Made a man miss. Price, end zone, touchdown. What a move by Jadarian Price. From 12 yards out. And the Leonard Moore interception turns into a touchdown at the end of the half for the Fighting Irish. Nine plays, 45 yards in a minute plus, and 6 more with an extra point coming. Kick is up and good.
This is what you love to see out of your freshman quarterback. You're going to get 4 verts outside by Notre Dame, and then your running back just on a little check down. Watch how the defenders for Stanford sink back to the goal line. This is a young quarterback not forcing the issue, taking what a defense gives them. Go ahead and take that check down underneath, give it to your skill guy out in space. Jadarian Price is going to make a couple miss and make you look good. That is a young quarterback growing up as the season's gone along. Excellent decision by C.J. Price, and an even better job by Jadarian Price getting that football in the end zone for his young quarterback.
Yeah, how good is Price? Jeremiah Love's banged up, had a great first drive. He's the Heisman candidate. He's the guy who gets all the highlights and the headlines. And Jadarian Price has just stuck around this program to play in that running back room, which might be the most I think it is the most talented running back room in college football. He's getting a chance tonight. He's got a season high 40 receiving yards. He's got 2 touchdowns total.
Not only does it say a lot about Price and Love and their selflessness, but I really think that's what this entire Notre Dame football team is. This entire team embodies that team first mentality. Going to be selfless. And no one displays that better than Love and Price.
Well, I mean, look, you think about great running back duos in college football. Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders. Kind of hard to beat that one. Wow, that's pretty good. And Barber and Lawrence Maroney, remember the numbers that those guys piled up for Minnesota. That's another good one. Reggie Bush and Lendale White. Amazing sort of thunder lightning combo. Felix Jones and Darren McFadden, unstoppable for Arkansas. Last year, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins. These two for Notre Dame, Brock, are pretty special.
I totally agree. They're right in that same conversation. And in today's era of college football, you really do need 2 backs like that if you're going to go do something special and contend for national titles. Because of the physicality of the game, when you look at Love and Price, they're able to stay fresh throughout not only the course of a game, but the course of a season, because they're able to take some of that load off of their shoulders by dishing out the carries to both guys.
Well, late night hasn't mattered for Notre Dame. The number 9 Fighting Irish came ready to play tonight right from the start, and they lead Notre Dame. They lead Stanford 35-3 at halftime. Coach Freeman down with Stormy.
Coach Freeman, a dominant start for your team, but I think most people at home were just happy to see Jeremiah Love be able to get back on the field. What kind of sigh of relief was that for you?
It's good. He's hurting, and that's a reflection of the type of character he has. He wants to be out here. He wants to compete. I keep challenging him a little bit to make sure he does what's best for the team, and that means he needs to keep himself out then we'll make that decision. But I don't want to make that. I want him to make the decision. So we're going to have a long talk at halftime, and I just want him to make the decision that's best for the team.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks to Stormy. Thanks to Coach Freeman. Halftime 35-3 Notre Dame. Lots to talk about in studio. Here's Matt Perry.
You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
And welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Downey Unstoppables. You're watching the ACC on ESPN from the Pacific Coast. We're in Northern California on the campus of Stanford University. Notre Dame, number 9 team in the country. And we said coming on the air tonight that Notre Dame needed to win. They also might need to win with some style. They are up with style, 35-3 over Stanford here, finishing out their regular season. A dominant statistical first half, not just the points on the board, rush yards, pass yards, total yards, time of possession. It was all Notre Dame.
It certainly was. All Fighting Irish in the first half. Completely lopsided first 30 minutes of the game. I don't know if the score and that board right there really tells the true story. Stanford just can't get anything going. They're not getting stops on defense, can't get in rhythm on offense, not creating turnovers like they did a week ago in their big win against their rival Cal. Just been all things Notre Dame this evening.
Stanford will get the ball to start the third quarter. And if you're hanging with us here late night, we appreciate it. From Stanford Stadium, fair catch. Cardinal offense come back on the field. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, Stormy Bonatoni with us as well. And look, it's a lopsided score. Notre Dame, interesting to get your thoughts on how they approach. If you're Marcus Freeman, are you thinking you got to keep going here? Or do you back off, try to stay healthy, and set up for selection night on a couple weeks from now?
You know, it's a difficult question because in years past you would say, hey, you're going to get your stars out of the game. You want to protect their bodies for the future playoff run. But I really think that the College Football Playoff Committee signaled to us this week with a couple movements that they made that style points matter and how you win matters. And so I don't really see Notre Dame taking their foot off the pedal for maybe another half a quarter, just kind of depending how the start of this third quarter goes. Now, don't forget this. If they do start putting in second and third string players, they're a very talented roster with great depth, so they can still put up points. They can still play defense. But I think Marcus Freeman, he's out to prove a point tonight. He doesn't want to leave anything to chance, and he's making a statement to the College Football Playoff Committee.
Well, this Heisman Trophy candidate has his helmet on and is on the exercise bike trying to stay loose, which is something. Cole Tabb in the backfield with Elijah Brown, who throws, and that one off the hands of Marcus Brown, incomplete. And right away, 3rd and 10 for Stanford. You and I will have plenty of time, it appears, in this second half to talk about Notre Dame's case, their argument, their resume. In terms of other games that happened this weekend, and there's still a couple next week that could affect the Irish's positioning. They're in a good position now, but it is not a lock that they're going to be a part of that playoff group. Not yet. Hampton in the backfield. Brown, little pump fake, and that one's incomplete, trying to hit Marcus Brown. So a 3 and out for the Stanford offense to start the second half.
And when you're Stanford, I don't understand it. All 3 wide receivers are in stationary positions. There's no motion. You're not creating a bunch. You're not creating a stack. If you're Frank Wright going against this defense, at some point you need to help your skill guys create some separation and get open. And that's just something we haven't really seen out of Stanford. Great start to the second half, though, for Notre Dame. That's exactly how they wanted that to go.
Angled punt, and that one's going to go inside the 25 and be down there. So Notre Dame's offense on the field. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, Dave, when I asked Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman about Jeremiah Love coming back into the game in the first half after suffering that rib injury, he said going into the locker room, we were going to have a long conversation about what's best for him versus what's best for the team. And he said he told him coming back out that, listen, Jeremiah, what's best for you is best for the team. If you feel like you're comfortable and want to gut through this and continue to play, then we're going to trust you that you're okay. And I asked if he thought we would see him, and there we go. See him coming out in the backfield once again out here. And he already set the touchdown record from Jerome Bettis earlier in this half. But while Freeman didn't say anything, it is worth noting he's on record watch for the yards as well.
I mean, it's interesting that he's out there. He wants to be. Play fake to Jeremiah Love. C.J. Carr avoids the rush. Going deep, and it is knocked away, incomplete. No, it's caught. Wow, what a catch by Faison. I thought that ball hit the turf. Instead, 54-yard completion.
Well, watch the eyes from the safety here, and that's what creates the one-on-one over the top for Jordan Faison. When you have a running game like the Fighting Irish, anytime you go play action, it's going to get a safety to settle his feet. That's all Jordan Faison needs to get a step on the safety and corner, and great concentration to bring that football in.
Wow, what a catch. So a big play right away. That answers some of our questions about how Notre Dame is going to play this here in the second half. And Jeremiah Love will get the ball right side. Turns a corner. Love goes out of bounds inside the 15. How did Jordan Faison hang on to this ball?
Well, he's just the ultimate competitor. And doesn't give up on the play. Battles through the contact. Great concentration with his eyes. Shielding the defender. You got to remember, Jordan Faison, just 5'10", 185 pounds, not the biggest guy on the field. But boy, does he play tough, and that was an excellent catch.
Love in the backfield. He'll get another carry right side, and a penalty flag thrown. As of now, first down, but there is a flag on the field.
Holding, defense number 94. Penalty enforced after distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
So first and goal coming up here for Notre Dame on their first drive of the second half. Anthony Franklin, sort of a wry smile on his face. Well, Jeremiah Love still in this game despite the lopsided score, despite the injuries suffered in the first quarter.
I think that says so much about who that young man is and how much his teammates mean to him, what this game means to him. I mean, he could easily go over there, grab a cup of Gatorade, sit on the sideline and watch the ball game, but he wants to be out there in the fire with his teammates.
First and goal. Play fake to Love. End zone touchdown. And they made that look easy. Jordan Faison, the spectacular catch down the field. That one was easy for him from 6 yards out. It's 41-3 Notre Dame.
That is just too easy for Jordan Faison. And it's really the action. So you get the tight end slicing the cross zone run, and then you also get the play action by the back. And that's just going to get all eyes into the backfield, creates a one-on-one outside on the perimeter for Faison. It's that hard run that really sells the action, gets the defense to step up, and that's just pitch and catch in the backyard.
The 54-yard catch by Faison, really that was the key to the whole drive. Extra point up and good for Notre Dame. Yeah, he stuck it through there. Well, Jordan Faison, he was the man on that drive for the Fighting Irish, making a statement here late night at Stanford. Well, there's a spot in the college football playoff on the line. An incredibly sort of unpredictable matchup. If you looked at the beginning of the year and thought Duke and Virginia are going to play for the ACC championship. Duke hadn't been there since 2013. Virginia did make an appearance in 2019. Neither has ever won the ACC championship game. Saturday, 8 Eastern on ABC.
Definitely not the matchup I was expecting, but that is the beauty and exciting thing in college football and why we love it so much. You know, every year is a new year, and especially in the era of the transfer portal and NIL and how these rosters are constantly moving and taking shape, you can build a title contender in an offseason.
Just a totally lopsided game here tonight between Notre Dame and Stanford. Tab swallowed up.
And Flem, to your earlier question, you know, Marcus Freeman, he's not calling off the dogs. You look at this Notre Dame defense right now, that is their entire starting unit across the board. I mean, he's making a statement tonight, and he's really done it the last couple weeks, showing the College Football Playoff Committee how dominating his football team could be in all three phases.
I mean, this is a Stanford team that beat Cal last week. You can't play these games in college football, but I mean, they beat Cal last week 31-10. Cal beat SMU tonight to send Duke to that championship game. Tip ball almost intercepted, incomplete. And Stanford's having a hard time even just completing a pass. It's 3rd and 10. Elijah Brown 6 for 21 tonight.
Yeah, it just has nothing's come easy for the freshman quarterback, and I think really you just have to give credit to Chris Ash, his defense, and in particular the secondary for the Fighting Irish. I mean, they have just been in glove coverage all night long for Stanford. There's been little to no separation, just nothing coming easy for this Stanford offense.
Leonard Moore, they've actually kind of targeted him, and he's come through with some big plays. Brown is going to check down, and then a nice move to get to the outside, but there's Moore to tackle Caden High for essentially no gain. Must be fun for Leonard Moore to actually be involved in a game. A lot of times teams don't even throw his way.
Yeah, they really don't. And give some credit to the Stanford offensive line. You're going to see good protection, but keep an eye down the field. Look at the 2 wide receivers for Stanford. Where do you want Elijah Brown to throw this football? Really, that's kind of how it's been all night long. That's just a microcosm of what's been going on for Stanford. Nothing coming easy.
A booming punt. Stanford's run 6 plays in the second half for a total of 0 yards. Faison with a nice return, at least impressive in terms of how much effort he put into it. Didn't get a ton of yardage. Notre Dame has the ball when we come back up big.
Back on the farm with Stanford football general manager Andrew Luck, and you guys made the announcement yesterday, officially official, that Tavita Pritchard is going to be the next head coach of this program. What made it clear that he was the right man for the job?
Oh, cream rises to the top. He's an amazing man. He's got amazing leadership qualities. He knows the game of football. He's a connector. He's courageous. He's the right leader at the right time for this program.
Someone you know well back in your playing days as well. How excited were you that it worked out the way that it did to bring him here?
Absolutely thrilled. We spent a lot of time on this field together, a lot of time on the practice field. And look, this is all about developing young men, developing winning teams, championship teams, building championship culture, and thrilled.
And I know with that, too, there's a little bit of a bittersweetness for Frank Reich and this being his last game after everything that he brought to the program this year. What can you say about Frank and his impact? He's
done an unbelievable job. This team's done an unbelievable job. We got to find a way to get a stop and get some points on the board. But he's given his all. These young men have overcome a lot of challenges and played great football. And again, let's figure out how to get something good going this game.
Thank you for this.
I appreciate it.
All right, Stormy and Andrew, thanks for a few moments. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, Stormy Bonatoni. 2nd and 12, Jeremiah Love still in the game. Got stopped for a loss of a couple yards on the first carry of this drive. C.J. Carr is going to throw over the top, and that pass incomplete, out of bounds, intended for the tight end, Ty Washington. So it's 3rd and 12. Look. Frank Reich was literally, Stormy told the story, he was in line at Costco 9 months ago. Retired, great football career, player, coach, all of it. And Andrew said, I need your help. And he came here, and instead of a total disaster of a season for these Stanford players, coach let go in the spring, no time to really do anything other than have somebody on an interim basis be the head coach. So they're going to review that call along the sideline. And Stanford's won 4 games. They've been favored 1 time all year, 1 time. So in a lot of ways, they've overachieved. They won big game last week, had a moment that the seniors will never forget. This is the play they're looking at. Did the foot get down in bounds? Maybe so.
Well, remember this, and before we get to this, is this a catch or not? Prior to Frank Reich showing up, this is a Stanford program that in the previous 4 seasons, they won 3 games in each of those 4 seasons. Frank Reich shows up. They win 4 games. They go 4-1 at home. They finally win the big game against Cal, rivalry game that means so much to the 2 schools. And I think it says a lot about the relationship and respect that Frank Reich and Andrew Luck have for one another. The fact that he would take that call and really even entertain this job, and then to come in and do what he did. Now, I also think it's interesting. Let's hear this call. We'll keep it going.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. 3rd down.
I asked Frank Reich yesterday, I said, Coach, is there any part of you, especially with the foundation that you were able to lay down this year, that you might make this more of a permanent thing? This was before Tavita Pritchard was named the head coach. He said, Brock, I made it crystal clear from the very beginning with Andrew Luck. This was a 1-year deal. He goes, listen, I want to stay. I want to be here and see this thing through, but it's time to go home to my family. They deserve me. I need to go home. So I just have so much respect for Frank Reich and what he accomplished this year.
Pressure comes. They're going to dump it down to Jeremiah Love, who breaks a tackle, then steps out of bounds. He was still moving down the field, but out of bounds, well short of a first down. So 4th down for Notre Dame. Andrew asked for the stop. Looks like the Stanford defense got the stop.
Yeah, they heard their general manager. And once again, Frank Reich, just the foundation that he was able to lay. Andrew clearly has a vision for what he wants this program to be. And it's a great first year.
It's well said by you. And Frank is not going to be totally disengaged. He's got a role as like a senior advisor to this program. He says he's totally invested in Andrew and Stanford. He's fallen in love with the university. So he's still going to have some sort of role with the football program. Fair catch signal by Liam Thorpe inside the 15. And the guy that Andrew Luck has hired to be the new head coach starting next year, Tavita Pritchard. This was an all-time great Stanford moment. Jim Harbaugh's first year as the head coach, 41-point underdogs, 4th down at the Coliseum against number 2 USC. Tavita Pritchard to Mark Bradford. Truly an all-time, and maybe the greatest upset in the history of college football, maybe. And Tavita, who was a player here, a longtime coach on staff, has been the Commanders' quarterbacks coach for the last 3 seasons in the NFL. He's coming back to Stanford to be the head coach. He's going to coach tomorrow, Brock. Washington plays Denver, and then after that, he's going to leave that job and come straight here, and he'll be introduced this week and start being the head coach this week.
I think it's a really exciting hire for the Stanford program, and I think you've seen a lot of schools across the country go to former players and bring them back as the head coach, and you ask yourself, well, why? And you know, in this day and age of college football with the transfer portal and rosters constantly changing, I just think when you have ties to that school, when you have blood, sweat, and tears on that field, it just means a little bit more to you. You're willing to dig a little bit deeper in those really tough times. So for Stanford to bring back one of their own, I'm really anxious to see what Tavita Pritchard's able to accomplish here.
And there's no doubt that that guy is in charge of this program, Andrew Luck, one of the all-time great Stanford players, and those 2 were teammates. And it will be a partnership, and I think that's a big part of why Tavita is the guy here, because Andrew needed to find somebody who could be a true partner with him in leading this program back to the heights. When Andrew Luck was the quarterback at Stanford, there were a couple different years where at the end of the year they were as good as almost anybody in the country. That pass complete to Marcus Brown, but stopped a yard or so short of a first down. Down 42-3. We'll see if Stanford keeps the offense on the field and goes for it. Looks like they will.
That was a nice job of Marcus Brown winning on slot corner Devontae Smith in man coverage.
Get to the line quickly, get it snapped, throw it out to the flat, turn it upfield, and that's a Stanford first down. Marcus Brown with the catch and run. So Stanford goes for it and converts.
I like it. Getting Marcus Brown involved in the game. You're going to see he's in man. Here's Devontae Smith. Here's Brown. Just a foot race to the flat. You get a little natural rub inside. Just an easy pitch and catch. And that's something that Stanford has not had enough of tonight. Elijah Brown really struggling, 9 of 25, but able to keep the drive alive there on 4th down.
8 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Little play fake for Brown. And Brown trying to get away. Penalty flag thrown. He's going to get sacked. You know, in general, I mean, this is a Notre Dame team that pressures the quarterback at an elite rate. In general, the Stanford offensive line has played well tonight.
I agree with you, Flem.
Holding, office number 74. The penalties decline. Second down.
Yeah, I'm with you, Flem. I think this offensive line, they've done a pretty good job of giving Elijah Brown plenty of time to throw the football. This foul is going to be on the center, Fisher Anderson. Going to see what the takedown, just gets the arm across the chest of 47. Easy call for the officials that time.
Sacked, by the way, Madden Faremo, who is a young player who's taking the place of Kingston Viliamu Asa. Very good player who's out for the year. That's a loss for Notre Dame's defense. So nice to see the young kid make a play. The tight end Roush with the catch. It'll be third down and short after a 13-yard gain.
What a career Sam Roush has had here at Stanford. Excellent senior year this year. 45 receptions coming into the game tonight, which was tied for the most in the ACC by a tight end. And then he led all ACC tight ends in yardage. He's a true playmaker. He can make plays in the pass game, help you out in blocking. He's a true all-around tight end. Fantastic player.
4.0 computer science student getting a graduate degree on top of it all. Pretty impressive young man. That pass caught out in the left flat by Tab, but tackle in the open field by Jaden Ausberry. And Cole Tab was stopped short, so Stanford's going to go for it on fourth down again. Go quick tempo again, but they substituted, so now Notre Dame gets to substitute themselves.
You see if Frank Wright goes with the attitude play against Chris Ash's defense. Just 4th and 1. I expect Stanford to keep the football on the ground here.
If you had Micah Ford available tonight, it would sort of be a no-brainer. Champ Hampton in the backfield. And they will give it to Hampton. He bounces it right side and gets just enough for the first down. That was a solid run by Hampton. So Stanford converts for the third time on fourth down in this game.
No quit out of the Cardinal. Most impressive drive of the night. Stringing together some first downs. Elijah Brown starting to find a little bit of rhythm.
Too little too late, but it sort of epitomizes what this year has been about for Stanford. Making progress behind the scenes. Trying to catch up with the infrastructure, the ability to compete with all the changes to college football. Brown across the middle, incomplete. He sailed it right over Sam Roush, who was open.
It's been a really tough throw to get that up and down over the linebacker Drake Bowen. I know Sam Roush is a big target at 6'5", but that was a really small window Elijah Brown was trying to fit the football into.
If Notre Dame and Vanderbilt and Duke and Virginia can play at a high level in college football with the way the rules are today and the way the sport is today, there's no reason why Stanford can't.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, think about it. The history, the great players, the great teams. You have the infrastructure here. The resources are here and really unlimited.
Brown to Brown inside Notre Dame territory, short of a first down.
And now that Andrew Luck is on staff, general manager, calling the shots for the football program. I mean, when I think of Stanford football, now I get it, I'm 35 years old, but you think Andrew Luck and you think Christian McCaffrey and you think about all those great teams that they had here on the farm, and you know Andrew Luck is determined to bring that back. The resources are getting in line. You play in a power conference. Why not Stanford?
No good reason. Third down and short. Play fake to Hampton. Brown all kinds of time, and he hits his tight end with the catch. Then a big hit. Roush hung on to the ball. It was not Roush. It was Benji Blackburn with the catch. Now Notre Dame's arguing that the ball was juggled and it should be incomplete.
We'll see on the replay, but that was an excellent route by Blackburn. I love how he leaned into the defender to separate away from him. Clean route. Excellent job. Strong hands. That Schuler coming up on the big hit, and that looks like a clean catch to me.
Yeah, I think so too. So the drive continues for Stanford. Irvin in the backfield now alongside Brown. And Cedric Irvin will get the carry. Broke one tackle. And a good strong run for him inside the 30. Down to the 27-yard line. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, and Dave, as you guys were talking about what Andrew Luck is trying to build here with this program, I asked Frank Reich just his belief in what he thinks Andrew can do, and he said it's off the charts, his belief. He said they're going to win here, and it's not if, it's when, and he thinks it's going to come fast because Andrew is a winner. He was going to get the right person in here to take over this job, and he said you bring someone of Andrew's caliber to an elite place like this, let him do his thing, he's going to get this program to an ACC title before you know it.
It was a strong message from Frank Reich about his belief in getting it done. Hampton couldn't get away. Nice tackle. A lot of open space in front of him, but he was tripped up.
Well, and the thing that you get with Andrew Luck, whether you're a coach thinking about coming here to coach or a player being recruited, there's a belief that Stanford can be great when Andrew Luck's in charge. You go back to his college career and what a career it was. Then you watch what he did in the National Football League, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for 7 straight seasons. I mean, he creates instant belief once he took that general manager job a year ago.
3rd down and 6. Drive 6.5 minutes long for Stanford. Brown under center is going to fake it and pitch it back to Caden High. Trying to get to the corner, takes a massive hit and goes down well short of the 1st down. Pops right back up. Man, that's a tough kid. Not a real big kid, Caden High.
What a hit by a Don Schuler. Coming from his safety position, we could hear that all the way up here, 5 stories up. Ooh. I mean, Don Schuler, one of the best safeties in all of America, plays the game the right way. A pro's pro, brings physicality, great instincts and recognition to the position. Just an outstanding hit.
Now this is where you just wonder. Stanford's subbing, so now Notre Dame gets a chance to sub. It's 42-3. Why are you kicking a field goal?
I don't know. I'm going for it here. Try to get some more points.
Snap and hold. Emmett Kenny. He kicks it through. So Stanford does get the field goal on the board. It's 42-6 with 2:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. The man now in charge of this program, one of the true all-time greats, number 12, Andrew Luck. All right, it's time for us to honor those who serve. Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. 2 really impressive young men, Jerry Rouleau and Mickey Brown, both part of this Notre Dame Fighting Irish team, part of the ROTC program on campus, both of whom want to go on and make a career out of serving their country in the military in one form or another. And Notre Dame's very, they're proud of Jeremiah Love for their Heisman candidate and all their star players on the field. They are really, and rightfully so, very proud of those 2 guys and all that they do on the field, off the field, part of this program. Our salute to them as the Fighting Irish get the ball back here, leading 42-6 with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The finale in the regular season for Notre Dame. And with their starting quarterback, C.J. Carr, running back out on the field.
Unbelievable.
I mean, look, there's no doubt that it tells you what Marcus Freeman feels about the need to make a statement with this game, about his insecurity about where Notre Dame stands.
And I don't know if it's insecurity or just facts of how the College Football Playoff Committee looks at things. They care in how teams win and what it looks like. And they really showed that with the latest rankings revealing on Tuesday. You look at what happened. Okay, well, Oregon was at number 7. They beat a good USC team at home, and what did? They leapfrog an Ole Miss team that sat at home with a bye. They didn't do anything wrong, but they passed them. And then the other one is Utah was sitting at 12 a week ago. They win by 4 at home against a reeling Kansas State team, and they go backwards a spot. So I think the proof is in the pudding. The committee cares about how you win and what it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. When I use the word insecurity, Love gets tackled in the open field and maybe lost a yard. Nice play there by the Stanford defender, Charlie Eckhart.
And it's not an insecurity, and I know that's not what you meant. It's just he is trying to secure his team's college football playoff future.
I think here's what I would say. He knows that Notre Dame They sit number 9. 12 teams go to the playoff. Number 9's a little misleading. I mean, there's going to be a group of 5 team in. The ACC championship game is going to send a team. And neither of those two are in the top 15. Completion out to Elijah Burris, who's made a couple catches on this drive.
And then don't forget, things get really interesting if BYU somehow beats Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship. So now you need to make room for BYU and Texas Tech. You need to make room for the Group of 5 champion. You need to make room for the ACC champion. I mean, there's nothing that is for sure for Notre Dame right now.
Notre Dame fans, Miami fans, any other quote bubble team, if it's Texas, Vanderbilt, whatever team you want to put in that group, they have to root against BYU next week in the Big 12 title game. Carr in the pocket's going to throw. That one is incomplete through the hands of Burris. So it's 4th down.
And you just said it best. If you're Notre Dame or Miami, because to me those are the two teams. That's really who's in question right now, unless the committee looks at Oklahoma and how they beat LSU today and potentially drop them down a couple notches. So it comes down to Notre Dame, comes down to Miami. But if BYU can somehow beat Texas Tech, things are going to get real interesting, because now you need to make room for a second Big 12 team that you probably didn't think was going to be there. Someone's going to be left out.
Yeah. And you and I can get into this in the 4th quarter. We're going to have lots of time to do it. It's 42-6. But Alabama is in the mix there. Alabama, though, wins the Iron Bowl tonight. The punt from Notre Dame inside the 10. And it'll be down at the 9-yard line. That's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Stick around if you want to hear Brock and me break down the potential playoff scenarios. Watch the end of this game. 42-6 Notre Dame. They sure are playing well. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Downey Unstoppables. This is Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. A rivalry that does go back 100 years. Stanford and Notre Dame first played in the 1925 Rose Bowl. This has been a lopsided version of this rivalry. Handoff Stanford. Cardinal have kind of found a little something on offense in this 3rd quarter. Kicked 2 field goals tonight. Cedric Irvin a run for a gain of 5.
And the Notre Dame defense still has their starters on the field. No let up.
Kind of amazing, really.
You know, I thought, okay, I get it. Marcus Freeman, you want to leave no doubt with the College Football Playoff Committee. We're going to come out after halftime. We're going to, you know, kind of continue what we did in the first half and the 3rd quarter, maybe call off the dogs at the start of the 4th. And that's certainly not the case for the Fighting Irish.
Brown in the pocket's going to throw deep left and incomplete. And a penalty flag thrown. There did look to be some kind of contact there. Jalen Stroman with the coverage. That's going to be pass interference against the Irish.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
That's Christian Gray and C.J. Williams battling down the field. They've had a great battle tonight. Look at C.J. Williams, though, from Stanford. It almost looks like he tugs on Christian Gray late with that right hand. You see a handful of jersey. It's almost the role reversal. Christian Gray is trying to get C.J. Williams off of him, but the call goes towards Stanford.
Stanford, that penalty, 15 yards, longer than the longest offensive play for Stanford in this game. Brown held on to it for a long time and long enough to find his tight end Roush, who is dragging would-be tacklers down the field into Notre Dame territory.
Sam Roush, just such a great player, matched up against a Don Schuler, who more than likely will be named to the All-American team once again this year, just like a season ago, and does a tremendous job winning at the top of the route versus man coverage, getting friendly for his quarterback, and picking up a really nice gain for Stanford.
Very few players have ever done that to a Don Schuler.
I'll tell you what, Schuler is a heck of a ball player.
What Roush just did. Of course, Roush is 268 pounds. Irvin fighting for every yard. Gets down close to the 40. Gain of 3 on first down.
And I get it. The ball game is completely out of hand at this point, but that really was a matchup, and it was something we talked about earlier in the week. I really thought Stanford would lean on Sam Roush when it came to all the man coverage that Notre Dame plays, and you see clearly what he's capable of doing. Just a little too late tonight.
13 minutes to go. 5 receivers, nobody in the backfield. Second down and 7. Pressure comes. Brown dumps it over the middle, incomplete, trying to hit Bryce Farrell.
Notre Dame still dialing up pressure. Up 42-6, not taking their foot off the gas.
And Faremo, that freshman, got some pass rush on there again. So he's made a couple plays in the second half.
Came unblocked on that last play. Stanford's offensive line was sliding the opposite direction. Good play design by defense coordinator Chris Ash.
3rd and 7.
Got to beat man coverage.
Brown going down the right sideline, and it is caught along the sideline. Caden High. Perfect throw from Elijah Brown, and there's the biggest play of the game for the Cardinal, 32 yards.
That's a really good throw and an even better route by Caden High. Does a great job of selling the quick out route, wheels up the sideline. That's the explosive play Stanford needed.
So now inside the 10, 1st and goal. Brown's going to throw it. That was a smart play. Just threw it towards a receiver, but with double coverage incomplete, it'll be 2nd and goal. Stanford's kind of evened out a lot of the stats in this game in terms of time of possession, plays run, yardage scored. The important ones are still lopsided in Notre Dame's favor.
This is Stanford's first trip down into the red zone. We'll see what Frank Reich has here to make the most of this opportunity.
C.J. Williams came in motion. Now he'll go back in motion. Play fake. And the throw. Wide open. Touchdown, Stanford. Bryce Farrell. And Elijah Brown with some pressure coming. Irving picked up a blitzer. Gave him an extra half second. And Stanford took advantage.
Great job of Frank Reich dialing up a great man beater. Notre Dame's secondary tried to pass off the crossing routes. That's what allowed Bryce Farrell to get a step on the defensive back. Nice play design and execution by Stanford.
Extra point pending here for Emmett Kenny. Kick is up and good. 7 plays. 61. No. A long drive. 91 yards. And Stanford gets his first touchdown of the night. And the Cardinals playing hard to the end against number 9 Notre Dame. Hey, up. Miami played well today. Had a good win at Pitt. Stanford gets a touchdown for the first time, and now they'll give the ball back to Notre Dame, up 42-13. AT&T keeping you connected with our bracket insights. And if you start to wonder, could it possibly come down to one spot with 2 teams, Notre Dame and Miami, which is possible, and you look at their resumes, I mean, they are so close. Notre Dame's going to finish 10-2. Miami's 10-2. All the metrics have them very evenly matched. Best win, you can sort of debate that. Wins against CFP ranked teams, each has 2. The thing is, and I understand Miami fans wondering, why is it we beat Notre Dame head to head? All those numbers are so close. Would that not be the tiebreaker? By the way, you can sign up at ESPN.com and fill out your own CFP bracket challenge presented by AT&T. I mean, it is possible that the committee is going to have an incredibly difficult choice to make.
Well, that goes without saying. It's going to be very difficult to figure out who that last one out is. I think for Miami, the reason why they're sitting at 12 and you have Notre Dame sitting at 9 It's because of when Miami lost those games, right? Notre Dame lost in week 1 and week 2. And then since then, they've been on an absolute tear where it was kind of a flip side for Miami. Got out to a hot start, and then they lost in 2 out of 3 consecutive weeks. Things were kind of going downhill. I think the playoff committee started to question who the Miami Hurricanes were. They've regrouped since. They're playing good football. But I think the timing of the losses have separated Notre Dame from 9 and Miami at 12 right now.
Kenny Minchie in the game now, the backup quarterback, and he completes that one on 3rd down to Aeneas Williams for a Notre Dame conversion. I just think, okay, now you step back at the end of the year, because I agree with you about that. Common opponents, a lot of similar results. The 4 teams that both Miami and Notre Dame have played. The Pitt games felt very similar. Notre Dame went to Pitt and dominated. Miami today went to Pitt and dominated. Stanford going to end up being a similar kind of result. Syracuse, I guess, a little different, although Syracuse without a functional quarterback, hard to judge that 70-7 game maybe. It's just everything is so close. If there was a big difference between the two, you can overlook the head-to-head matchup. If it's that close, how as a committee do you put a team in that lost head-to-head to the team that you're weighing them against? I don't know.
I'm with you, Flem. I mean, when you break down Notre Dame season and Miami season, they're almost identical. I mean, when you look at it, all those stats we just gave you, they're nearly the same exact season. I think what the committee is doing right now is they're basing things off of the eye test. And since Notre Dame's 2 losses in week 1 and week 2, and you have to remember how they lost. They lost to Miami on the road by 3 points. It was C.J. Carr's first career start. And then the next week, they lose in a shootout by 1 point to a really good Texas A&M team. And then since then, they played great football. And they've really looked like one of the most complete teams, offense, defense, special teams in America, minus the kicking game. Where Miami, they've had some ups and downs as the season has gone along, but I'm with you. How do you ignore the head-to-head? And the head-to-head, Miami won.
All that said, I agree with you. Williams straight ahead, and there he goes. Aeneas Williams out into the open. Williams, 51 yards, touchdown. And Notre Dame will take it, whatever they can get. If it adds to the margin of victory, if it adds some style points, even at a game that's already decided, they will take it.
Gosh, what a block Aeneas Williams got from his teammate on the outside. Freshman wide receiver number 5, Cam Williams, just came in and delivered a beautiful block on the safety. It ultimately sprung Aeneas Williams, and every running back for the Fighting Irish tonight has had their fun.
Love and Price and Williams all have been spectacular. So Notre Dame answers the Stanford touchdown with one of their own, a long play on the ground. There's that block Brock was talking about. And Aeneas Williams out into the open, off to the races. 49-13 Notre Dame.
ESPN College Football is presented by Downey Unstoppables, the laundry scent boosters that keep your clothes feisty fresh.
Some cool visuals. We know the matchups across college football, championship games, conference championship games next weekend, including the unlikely matchup in the ACC on our ESPN networks as we look ahead. Friday, you get the American. Huge game, chance for one of those teams to be in position to be that group of 5 team. BYU, Texas Tech. Brock and I have already talked about that one. Georgia, Alabama, once again in the SEC championship game. Duke and Virginia. And maybe BYU is the team for every Notre Dame fan watching, because BYU is a team that doesn't feel like it's in right now, and as it stands right now, they're not in. If they win, obviously they are. It's really hard to imagine Texas Tech would lose that game and be out. That seems impossible. So that would kind of steal a spot from somebody else if BYU were to win that Big 12 championship game.
I really think if you're a Notre Dame fan, that's where your eyes have to be. Because that's when things get weird. You know, you have to wonder, okay, BYU wins the Big 12 championship. Clearly they're in. You're not going to kick Texas Tech out. All right, well, what else do you have to look at? What does the committee do with Alabama? They're playing in the SEC title game. Okay, they win. Well, then that's clear. Well, they're in and Georgia's in. But right now, Bama's kind of on that outside looking in. But what happens if Bama loses? Are you gonna penalize them for playing in the SEC title game? I don't know. So you got to keep an eye on Alabama. You got to keep an eye on BYU, and I think the other team to keep an eye on is Oklahoma. I think they beat a quality SEC opponent. I don't care what anyone thinks. Okay, yes, LSU head coach was fired, this, that, and the other. They're still LSU to some regard, even with a backup quarterback. So, but with that being said, does Oklahoma get penalized for how they won today? Because it wasn't pretty. It was an ugly win in Norman. So do they potentially slide back? A lot of things to take into account.
All excellent questions and points. And if you're a Notre Dame fan, you're going to be watching real closely on Tuesday. Obviously, that's not the final bracket reveal. The last ranking before the playoff bracket is announced. And it'll be huge. Where is Alabama? Where is Oklahoma? Where is Miami relative to Notre Dame starting on Tuesday night? I mean, it's just impossible for me to believe that Alabama is going to be left out. 3rd and 2 for Stanford, by the way. Elijah Brown got away from pressure and delivered a nice ball out to the 45 to Miles Libben for a first down conversion.
That was a really nice job of Elijah Brown navigating the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field and delivering the ball. But back to the playoff discussion. Remember this. We'll break it down real simple. Number 12 is going to the Group of 5 champ. 11 is going to go to the ACC champ. Okay. Well, then what happens if BYU beats Texas Tech? Okay, now they're probably at 10 or somewhere in there. And then to your point, what happens with Bama? So really, if you want to be truly safe and know that no matter what, you're going to be in the college football playoff, I think you need to get to number 8 unless you have a conference championship to play for, which Notre Dame doesn't.
There's a lot of drama, a lot of things. And for Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, they've done, since they lost those first 2 games, they have done everything they could do. They have dominated teams. They have won in such impressive style. It's not a knock on Notre Dame to say that their spot isn't 100% secure.
No, and do I think they're one of the 12 best teams in America? Without a doubt. But you have to remember how the playoff is set up. We make room for the Group of 5 champ. That's the highest ranked. We make room for all the Power 4 champions. So all of a sudden now the ACC is coming into play.
Yeah, and those 2 spots that you're talking about are the ones that could keep, whether it's Notre Dame or Miami or, I mean, I guess there is a scenario where Alabama isn't in. That seems hard to believe. Alabama's got more good wins than anybody, I think, when you stack up the resumes. First down, Stanford here.
You know, and I should make a correction. It's not Power 4. That doesn't come into play. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions, regardless of conference. So, say Duke beats Virginia. Do 2 schools from the Group of 5? Do they make it in?
It's actually possible.
It is.
That's like the chaos scenario. Now that would still, the same result would be there in terms of, quote, stealing a spot from one of these top-ranked teams.
And that's the point I was trying to make. Yes, but it is something that should be clarified, and that's just the way the playoff is built right now. Some good football team, whether it's Notre Dame, whether it's Miami, whether it's a Texas team. Think about Texas. They're the only school in the country this year to have 3 wins beating top 10 teams. Look at Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia. I want to see that kid in the playoff. I want to see what he can do. So good teams are going to be left out regardless.
Handoff here to Cole Tabb on first down. Stanford sent a different quarterback in. Is that Charlie Meyer? Charlie Meyer, the senior from Rancho Santa Fe. He saw his teammates kind of light up on the sideline, excited for Charlie to get a chance to play. I don't know that Charlie's taken snaps in a game in his Stanford career.
You got to love seeing that on senior night. The big signal caller go out there, get some game action, put in a lot of time in this program. In the weight room, on the practice field, meeting room. Let the kid go spin it.
Got his pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage on second down, incomplete. So it's 3rd and 8. And again, just to put a bow on some of these discussions we've been having, Brock and I we're not the committee. We're not trying to be the committee. We're not trying to weigh in with hot take opinions about this. We're just simply trying to break down the challenges that committee is facing. Meyer takes off, and he's going to scramble for a first down. Still going. How about that run? All the way down to the 10, and the Stanford sidelines just going nuts. A 30-yard scramble.
Well, how about this scramble by the big fella? Pocket breaks down. Does a great job of going forward. Out there making some plays late for his ball club.
Protect the ball at the end of the run.
Beautiful run.
A huge smile on his face. There is a Notre Dame player who was down. He got up. We'll clean that up when we come back right after this. Well, good news for Notre Dame. Jalen Stroman, who is an important guy in that secondary for the Irish, was down on the field, hopped up, went off the field. He looks to be okay. Has the helmet back on. It's 1st and goal, Stanford here with 5.5 minutes to go. Charlie Meyer, the son of a great Notre Dame quarterback, Rick Meyer, getting his first game action.
Offense number 71, 5-yard penalty.
A senior who, as Brock said, has put in all the time and effort to be a part of this program for years. And here on his senior night, getting a chance to play, had a 30-yard scramble. It's kind of a cool thing against his dad's alma mater. How about that? False start penalty.
You know he wants to throw a touchdown pass here.
Oh, yes, he does.
Hey, Dad, remember that time?
Notre Dame brings pressure, and Charlie Meyer trying to get away, couldn't do it. I mean, Notre Dame is treating these last 5 minutes. They do not want to allow any more points.
You're not wrong, Flem. And you know Marcus Freeman said to defensive coordinator Chris Ash, I've seen enough of what's taking place out there with, I don't know, you've called him the 3rd string, 4th string quarterback, and Chris Ash bringing a pressure. Charlie not ready for it. Knocking Stanford back.
I mean, it's 2nd and goal. They're outside the 20 now. Pressure picked up. Meyer throws it. He delivers a good ball to Roush inside the 5. Finally tackled after he got down close to the 3. So there's the first pass completion of Charlie Meyer's Stanford career. Gain of 19.
Great recognition by Meyer. See Sam Roush working against the Mike linebacker in zone coverage. It's a matchup you want to take advantage of every single time. And then Sam Roush getting some tough yards after the catch.
Roush 4 catches, 73 yards. His first career pass completion. He'd never thrown a he'd never been in a game until tonight.
It was a great one at that.
And now he's taking Stanford down the field. It's 3rd and goal.
You see him talking with his head coach, Frank Reich, also the play caller. Been in that situation before, and I know Frank's just saying, hey, what's your favorite play call? Let's get you a touchdown, kid.
Stanford's offense has been much better in the second half. That's a little consolation. And Notre Dame, don't take anything from Notre Dame has been dominant tonight. They came out and just overwhelmed this Stanford team. And they've done that to a lot of teams down the stretch of this season. But if you're micro-analyzing these resumes at the end of the year, who knows? Maybe this matters. Pressure picked up. Meyer throws, caught, touchdown. Well, that was a nice throw. Marcus Brown into the end zone. And that's just got to be an incredible feeling. All that time put in. You finally get a chance to play. You lead your team down the field. You throw a touchdown.
You love to see it. It's what makes college football so great. Great play design by Frank Reich. Excellent execution by Charlie Meyer. And a perfect route by Marcus Brown. And you see the teammates celebrating the senior quarterback. What a special moment.
Against his old man's alma mater.
That's really cool stuff. I love that.
12 plays, 80 yards, 5-minute drive, and it's 49-20. This was a really nice throw.
It really was. And like I said, it started with a great play design versus man coverage. Beautiful throw in stride. Great route by Brown. And really just flawless execution. And you can see the joy by Charlie Myrer. Just all those years, like we talked about, the time and effort in the weight room, the practice field, the film room. You don't get any game reps. You finally get in there in your last game of college football. You make the most of your moment. So cool.
He will never, ever forget that. And it's really cool to see the reaction of his teammates. Obviously, a guy who's very well liked for the stuff he's put in behind the scenes. So many players like that on every team, on every roster.
That is what it is all about. We call those the glue guys, right? The locker room guys that really make this thing go. Might not get all the reps on game day and, you know, not the star of the show, but you can tell what he means to his teammates, and just so cool to see a guy make the most of his moment out there on the field.
And I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but last week you saw Syracuse just tap out. They wanted no part of that game. And you got to give Stanford a little bit of credit. This game long ago was decided. They have hung in there and played hard and played much better in the second half. It's 49-20. Another one of those line drive low kickoffs. Notre Dame handled that one nicely. Well, if you go back to the start of the year and play Magic 8 Ball about Notre Dame, chances to make the college football playoff. In the preseason, they were ranked in the top 6. So, yeah, everybody was thinking this was a playoff caliber team. You lose at Miami to start the year. Yeah, try again. Then you come home and you miss an extra point. You lose to a good Texas A&M team. You're 0-2. Outlook not that great. You win 9 straight by 30 points per game. And the outlook has changed dramatically. Currently, 81% odds to make the college football playoff. We'll see if those odds change after the rankings get updated on Tuesday. Pass down the right sideline. Notre Dame going deep with 3:48 to go. Airing it out to Elijah Burris. Minchie still in the game at quarterback at 2nd and 10. This is strange.
I was going to say, I think Marcus Freeman said, hey, you're going to try to score points. Well, you know what? We're going to try to score more points as well. And, you know, as great of a moment as that was for Charlie Myrer and Stanford and for the senior quarterback in his first game reps of, you know, his entire career, you know, this is kind of what's wrong with the college football playoff right now. And I understand what Marcus Freeman's doing. I have respect for it. But rarely do you ever see this in a football game when you're up 49-20. But when style points matter, and like you said, Flem, Notre Dame and Miami, they are going to be under a microscope. Their resumes in comparison, Marcus Freeman knows that. He's going to play until this clock hits zeros.
So 3.5 to go, under 3.5 to go. First down Notre Dame towards midfield. All true. All that's true. Every little bit might count in the end.
But you're right, it sure is strange.
That one incomplete, trying to hit the tight end Jack Larson out on the right flat. Well, for Notre Dame, a couple different things. Number one, you got to watch those champ games this upcoming weekend. At least a couple of those could impact their position. Number two, you hope Jeremiah Love is okay. Jeremiah did come back in the game. We think he's fine. He wouldn't have come back in if he was seriously injured, but you hope that he's 100% soon. That one completed out on the right side, and then the slip by Burris. So across midfield, but third down coming up.
Kenny Minchie, a great story for the Fighting Irish. Lost a really close quarterback battle with that man right there, C.J. Carr, back in fall camp. And just showed great leadership and selflessness. He didn't pout when he lost the quarterback battle. Just went back to work, asked his coach what he could do to get better. Put his head down, kept working, prepares like the starter every week. He's a great teammate. He's been there for C.J. Carr throughout the year. We like to see guys like that get out there on the field and get some burn once in a while.
Yeah, that one complete. And a nice turn upfield by Micah Gilbert, who's shown some flashes of a lot of talent as a young receiver for Notre Dame. First down, Fighting Irish.
You know, I think so many players in this day and age, you lose a quarterback battle like Kenny Minchey did, and it was a hotly contested battle. It came right down to the wire. So many of those guys go in the tank. They just kind of put their head down and think about where they're transferring to next. That was not the case for Minchey. Showed some great leadership.
2-minute timeout at Stanford with Notre Dame up big. All right, it's time now for the Protection Spotlight presented by Prudential. Up front, Notre Dame's line. They were protecting their backs today.
Well, I was going to say, what's the best thing to protect? Have a great run game, and that's what we saw at Notre Dame tonight. It didn't matter if it was Jeremiah Love early in the game, Jadarian Price, or as of late, Aeneas Williams, who put on a show making the most of his opportunities. 10 carries, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night for Williams.
Nolan James gets the carry here out of the 2-minute timeout. I mean, Notre Dame, they are acting like they want more.
I think they do. As we went to break, we saw Marcus Freeman talking to the offense. We saw some real intensity out of the head coach. Even though his ball club is up 29 points here late in the fourth quarter, we'll see if they take a shot at the end zone.
2nd down and 7. Kenny Minchey in a quarterback. They are going to throw the ball, and they're going downfield toward the end zone. Knocked away, incomplete. Intended for Gilbert.
Boy, Gilbert had a step on Neely. Ball just slightly underthrown. And once again, we just touched on it. This is something that you see so rarely in the game of football. A team up 29 points trying to score late in the fourth quarter. But you know why? It's Marcus Freeman, and he wants to lay everything out there for the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. He's not taking his foot off the gas.
3rd and 7. Minchey's going to run. He's got a lot of athleticism. He'll get the first down. Still going. Inside the 25. Goes into a slide. Gets hit. And a penalty flag thrown. So that hit came in. And I assume that's going to be on Stanford. Dante Utu, who doesn't play a whole lot on Stanford's defense. And we also may have a targeting review. So Minchey with the scramble for the first down.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness with targeting, defense number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The previous play is under further review.
I mean, this is just such a difficult position to be in as a defender. You're going to see the late slide by Minchey. I mean, I guess as the defender, you have to understand that it's probably coming from the quarterback. At some point, he's going to get down. I mean, that is contact to the head and neck area. Quarterback sliding is defenseless.
Well, Matt Austin has hung in with us all game long. This is kind of a tricky one, Matt. What do you think?
Well, you said it perfectly right, Dave. It is a tricky one because it's to the back of the head. The slide is a little unusual. The hit is coming in from the side. Looks like he gets him in the back. The helmets do click. If I was in the replay chair, I would not make this targeting. I think the hit was to the back.
After further review, the ruling on the field of targeting has been upheld. Number 15 has been disqualified from the game.
Well, Matt, any follow-up on that? I mean, it seems like just a tough one.
It is. From a safety standpoint, he did get him in the head. But most of the contact was to the shoulders, it looked like to me. The heads did come together. Again, it's a toss-up. It's very subjective. I would have gone the other way.
Instead, Dante Utu's out of this game. It's 1st and 10 Notre Dame. Not quite 1st and goal with 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the clock. And a handoff to Nolan James. He gets tackled for no gain.
Well, we'll see what Notre Dame does here as the clock rolls under 1 minute.
Would they kick a field goal if they don't get in the end zone?
I don't think so. I expect 2 shots to the end zone here. Depending on the down and distance, if you get to 4th down, yes, that could come into play. Once again, just such a bizarre situation that you rarely see.
Could be a lot of people interested in that field goal try if that were to come about. Minchie rolling right. He's going to dump it short. Pass completed. And then a broken tackle finally out of bounds. Clock will stop. Jack Larson, the young tight end, inside the 10. Gain of 6. By the way, when we're finished here, whenever that is, Weekend Sports Center. Marcus Freeman's going to join the show live to talk about Notre Dame's playoff ambitions. Pete Thamel's got all the news on the Lane Kiffin saga. WWE superstar Rhea Ripley on the show, and a whole lot more when we're done after the game on Sports Center. It's 3rd and 5 with 26 seconds remaining. High snap. Minchie drops it. It's still on the turf. Scrambled for the ball, and it looked like Notre Dame somehow recovered. So now it's 4th down, and we might get a field goal try, or Marcus Freeman may just let the clock wind down, which I think is the smart thing to do.
What a bizarre ending to the game. Listen, I don't like it, but I understand it. I understand what Marcus Freeman was trying to do, and I respect it.
And look, the way this game unfolded in the second half was a little wonky. Overall, you have to give Notre Dame credit. Man, did they play well. They started the season 0-2. They end the regular season 10-2. Hard for them to make a more convincing argument.
I agree. It was their final opportunity to showcase to the playoff committee why they deserve to be in. They came out and hitting on all cylinders. What a performance by the Fighting Irish.
For Brock Osweiler, for Stormy Bonatoni, our whole crew, Dave Fleming saying so long. Thanks for being with us. SportsCenter comes up next.